Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Coming at you from splendid isolation, this is episode 47 of the Simpsons Index. Hello, I am your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, and joining me tonight in splendid isolation is...
Hello, everybody. I'm Phil.
And...
Ahoy, hoy. No, you have the wrong number. This is 4246. I suspect you need more practice operating your telephone machine. Not at all. Ahoy.
Phil and BT joining me, or I'm joining BT. It's your house.
Well, actually, because this is getting knocked down and rebuilt soon, I've renamed it to Temple of Doomed. It's no longer
a more
Splendid
appropriate name.
Yep.
Wait, they're knocking down the whole building?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know they were going that hardcore renovation.
Full hardcore reno.
Yeah, they're having a sledgehammer party.
I like you just invented a new reality show too. Hardcore renovations. You won't believe what they get up to.
Oh, I want to write the music for that so bad. Yes, and this is the podcast where we watch and review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time. The catch is each episode comes from a different decade, and we take our rankings and we put them in the spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. And starting out tonight, we watched an episode from the HD era. It was called My Fair Lady, F-A-R-E.
What?
It was season 20.
Now it makes sense.
Wordplay.
Yeah. It was season 26, episode 14, written by Mark Wilmore, first released in February 2015. Guys, what did you think?
Mixed bag on this one, actually.
I hear that.
Started with a lot of potential, then it didn't know what to do with that potential, then it squandered it, then it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I feel like it had some good, funny jokes in it, but the story was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the highs of this episode were like... I didn't have any belly laughs, I just had more...
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of good... I think because mostly I was not expecting it, like, kind of like...
Yeah.
But yeah, just because they kind of blindsided me a little bit.
I think it did some very, very good peaks at about 5 out of 10.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any, like, fuck you fails in there either.
No, so... It did start a little bit better than it ended, though. So we'll get into that.
Yeah. And as we say, we always like them to stick the landing.
Always.
And so, did this episode start with them watching TV?
No, it did not.
No, it did not. Okay. We're going to start keeping track of that.
It's good, because it's a trend that I think
like
is very
a
interesting.
catalyst to getting the episode going. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
the chili cook-off or something.
Yeah, I mean, we've noticed that a lot of these really actually start with us watching The Simpsons, watching TV.
Yeah.
Right. That's very weird. What are the Simpsons watching?
Usually Itchy and Scratchy, sometimes Eye on Springfield, sometimes the news,
yeah.
sometimes just random crap, sometimes it's an ad, but it happens really a lot.
And does that then lead to crazy coincidences and wacky hijinks?
It does.
Exactly.
I
And sometimes the Itchy and Scratchy set up themes that will be explored later in the episode.
My.
All right, so we're mixing it up a bit this episode. Going to try it on, see if it works. This is an ever-evolving podcast, and it's getting a lot harder to edit as these episodes go on a bit longer.
Who knows what it'll be like between now and the time it becomes unprofitable.
So we're going to actually start out with the questionnaire. So first of all, play count. How many times have you guys seen this episode?
This was my first.
This was also my first.
Yeah, I'd say this is about my third. I remember catching this on a plane on my first.
You'd have to.
It has a real plane Simpsons
it
episode
really,
feel.
really does. I was about to say.
So the storyline, A and B story. In the A story, Marge becomes an Uber driver. In the B story, Mo... Wow, it's really complicated.
Yeah, B story, Homer becomes Mo, ruins it. Mo becomes works at the plant. It's a little all over the place.
Briefly dating a Joan Rivers parody woman.
I think it was really just both stories were people explore new
vocations
for themselves because they're sick and tired of it being taken advantage of or having their bar destroyed. One or the other.
That's true.
Yeah, the Mo storyline was the weaker of the two, I thought, because, now that I try and synopsize it, it's actually kind of a convoluted story.
I have notes. We'll get there.
But yeah, Marge is an Uber driver, or here to there driver.
I thought it was a cool idea, and it kind of didn't do much with it. It reminds me a lot of the one where they end up being VR family for Mr. Burns, in the sense that my main note was, if she doesn't like it, why doesn't she just stop?
Yeah. And she pretty much got to that conclusion anyway, and then there was some fake stakes rolled into it with the taxi drivers going to beat her up.
Very briefly.
Yeah, that was weird.
So yeah, the storylines, a bit weak.
They're really weak, actually. The story, both lines on both A and B I don't even know if you could call them A and B stories because they were really both B stories.
Pretty much.
But like Marge's Uber taxi driving thing was burned on by almost nothing, did nothing, and then ended for no reason, apart from she got sick of it.
Yeah,
it was, I'm going to try something new. I don't like this new thing. I'm going to stop. That was it.
Some people are going to attack me.
But they're gone now.
They've left.
And I think we started off and it was going to be Homer runs Moe's. I'm like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. I'm on board with that. And then there's a suggestion he's going to start picking up this relationship with this Joan Rivers woman, so maybe he won't have time for the bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, where is this going? And then that kind of stopped. And then we had Moe at the plant. And again, I was like, all right, that sounds interesting enough. But yeah, you could have made full episodes out of either of those plots. And they didn't.
Yeah, they weren't really fleshed out. It was almost like each of Moe's thing was just a scene to, moving him on to the next thing.
Yeah, it was definitely one scene per bullet point of what Moe does in this episode. Goes to a show, his bar gets destroyed, he needs a new job, he starts working at the plant, he gets the promotion, he's the boss of everyone that he knows, they all hate him, he quits, starts the bar again.
Yeah.
That's literally all the scenes that Moe was in, and that's all that happened in all those scenes.
Yeah, that's so... cut out the Marge storyline, and then you can still have all those extra plot points, but not make it so quick. Like, I felt like they really rushed through most stuff.
Yeah, I think they rushed through both ends of it. Like, even Marge's stuff was get annoyed about driving around for free that she kept complaining about. If you don't want to drive 5 different birthday parties for your 2-year-old child, Marge, don't say yes to 5 2-year-old birthday parties.
Yeah.
The easy fix. Or don't go, because they won't fucking remember.
Yeah. But yeah, to be fair, Homer was such a jerk in the start of the episode.
One of my opening notes is jerk ass Homer.
Yeah, because Marge goes, okay, here's our driving schedule. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, Homer is at the bar desperately trying to get too drunk to drive.
Yeah, which was a cute joke, but it made him such an ass that you didn't really care.
And they dragged it out with the whole meter thing. And,
and also the driving limit in the States is 0.08. You guys are wrecked when you're behind the wheel.
Yeah, I'm still stunned at that, yeah.
Maybe they're calculating differently, though?
No. It's
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blood alcohol level, 0.08.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dancingly good drunk.
So did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Actually, not even from the beginning, because they had that weird 8-bit pixel art with the... I don't know what the equivalent 8-bit pixel art audio is.
Yeah. Well, let's
intro.
talk about that couch gag. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I really liked that. That was fun. Its big problem, I think, is when we get into the episode proper, we start with effectively another couch intro.
Yeah.
Which is Homer's dreaming, but they're in the Jetsons. Like, having them back to back really killed both of them. It was the 8-bit one was really cool, a lot of good fun. Look that up on YouTube.
Yep.
But then to back it up with the Jetsons one of my first notes is this all intros forever? Is that what this episode is?
Well, you said that. It was like, is this just an episode of The Simpsons parodying intros for stuff?
Yeah. I mean, having Homer have a dream about the Jetsons, that's fine. We've had him have a dream about being Yogi Bear, and that was all right.
Yeah, but that doesn't feel like a Jetsons dream. It felt like another intro.
Yeah, and it wrecked both of them by having what should have been 2 good intros back to back really took away from each other. So
yeah, well, I mean, good. I'd say stylistically, the Jetsons parody was. I mean, it looked the part, but the song wasn't funny at all.
And also, the Jetsons, A, was never funny.
Yeah.
B, hasn't been relevant since 1970 something.
Yeah, I'd fight you on that, but I can't honestly remember an episode.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Jetsons wasn't culturally relevant before it even finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It was just a thing that was on that was the opposite end of the Flintstones.
Yeah.
That was it. Someone went, what if the Flintstones were in the future? They went, excellent. I want a robot maid and flying cars. Good.
Where was it? But yeah, the 8-bit pixel thing, like, because I'm a big fan of like old 16-bit era video games, and like there were so many moments in here where they were clearly doing references to video games.
Oh, there was a huge Mega Man section in that right towards the end that was excellent. Like that the whole last 30 seconds where it kind of ascended into the sky was that was the best bit. I could have lost all of the Simpsons parody 8-bit and had that for longer. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I got wonderful flashbacks to like Bart's Nightmare and the old some of the old games. The Simpsons arcade cabinet game.
Yeah, I felt like they were doing a couple of nods to that. And I don't know if it's referencing anything in particular, but the way that Maggie swung the steering wheel and the way her animation worked, it just looked really good. That was a particular standout.
It was a great intro.
Yeah.
And then we had another intro.
that we didn't need.
And then we had a shitty episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, did the episode feel like an episode of The
Oh,
Simpsons?
God, is that what question we're on?
I say yes because they're in it, but that's where it stops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's particularly off character.
That's the thing. It's one of the things where it's off character, but there's just something different in the flow, and I even think the directing felt a little off. Like it was something parodying The Simpsons. So there's not enough there for me to say no, this is not an episode. But it just, it felt like a weird doppelganger to me. Like the whole way through, just something. It's like when you watch a movie without the orchestration on the background or anything.
Okay.
It's just oddly
It's
quiet.
just a bit empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a
I
bit
feel
of-
like you said it earlier. This is a perfect Simpsons episode to watch on a plane
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it doesn't involve you in any way, and it's kind of something familiar, and it's new.
Yeah, it passes the time. I can take down my headphones and say, just a Diet Coke and some peanuts, please.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and don't feel like you're missing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of the characters were off point, but I noticed that Mo had a lot of those like extended drag it out jokes.
Yeah, especially when he walks into the bar to discover it's been ruined. That went.
Yeah. What?
It was like a 7-minute like surprise noise making scene.
Yeah.
I had enough time to write. Wait, where is it?
The amount of A's that you
Yeah,
needed.
I had enough time to write Mo was ?
Yeah.
And it was still going on.
Yeah. That's a lot of wah.
And then when Lenny and Carl were asking,
Was that a pizza knock?
Pizza!
and we are back. And just a brief food index. We ate pizza from I Heart Pizza. Guys, what did you think?
Yeah, good as always.
Oh, love their pizzas.
That is a dependable pizza.
I heart their pizzas.
I heart pizza.
Give us money now?
How does this work? Just someone shows up like a menu log and just
Yep.
have your money.
Talk about the wackiness.
No, I'd say there was a reasonable amount. Like, there was a lot of gags. Like, there was a whole 3.5-minute montage of Marge driving around, dropping people off, and street racing,
Helen Lovejoy,
for some
yeah.
reason.
and that type of stuff. So there was a
Making
fair
her
bit of
crash into a silo or something.
Yeah,
So
it
that.
was
And then it
weird.
didn't explode. I was waiting for that silo to explode, and it just dripped water on her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like Explosion 101.
Yeah.
Like
car
car-
crash, you explode, yeah.
Like that other episode of The Simpsons where the milk truck jackknifes and then explodes.
Yeah.
Always get an explosion.
Yep. But yeah, wacky stuff. Yeah, I guess the guys playing around at the nuclear power plant with radiation and
Yeah, but again, nothing impossible, just improbable.
yeah, there was a good visual there where Mo was dodging the safety inspector and tying up the glove on that radiation leak. I thought that was a good background
Yeah,
thing.
kept untying and just pumping the balloons of
Yeah.
radioactive gas away and just retying it.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I actually did like the plot point of Mo being really good at dodging the health inspectors. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like instead of promoting him to the head of Section 7G, he could have
Yeah.
said, "You are now the..."
Yeah, I thought he was going to be the new safety inspector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, take Homer's job, maybe.
Makes sense. Homer at the bar, Mo at the plant. Wow.
That is a real-time reenactment where my voice only broke twice.
Yeah. But yeah, not too wacky of an episode. The whole taxi drivers piling up on Marge thing. I
That's the
mean,
closest we got to wacky, but that's...
So that came way too late.
It really did.
They turned up when she decided she was going to quit, and
yeah.
forced her to quit.
Yeah, but it came up at a point of the episode where we knew this wasn't going to be a thing because we didn't have enough time left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true. Yeah,
And
it
where
could have
she
been-
was already saying that she's quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a good like Seg 2 conflict.
Yeah.
Nope. Happened in Seg 3.
Yeah, it absolutely should have happened much earlier to build the drama that would have resolved here rather
Yeah.
than...
And again, give us some motivation to be an Uber driver other than, oh, well, I drive all the time anyway. I may as well get paid for it. Because I feel like Marge is a people person. She would have probably enjoyed it for a certain amount of time of
Yeah.
meeting people and getting bits and pieces of their lives as you drove them around, and you just didn't get. She was immediately miserable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this segues pretty perfectly into the heart of the episode where, yeah, that sort of dynamic with Marge wasn't built up.
Yeah.
And she's a very, has a lot of faith in people. There
Yeah.
could have been an angle of her losing faith in people, like knowing how much monsters they are, having to drive them around all the time.
Yeah, maybe getting to see a bit of Springfield underbelly by, taxing people about and finding out that bits of their private lives that they
Yeah.
would rather keep hush-hush, but hey, they still need a lift. So yeah, that could have been cool.
Or conversely, she could have then segued into a PI business or like an evangelical Christian because she sees how
terrible
people is, and they need
Yep.
saving. And that could be like, that seems like a decent progression rather than, I got sick of it and then I decided to stop. And also, just going back to the very beginning where so the episode starts out, she's printed off on a dot metric printer for reasons that no one knows.
Yeah.
The driving schedule for the day to drop off all the kids in all those sports. And she's like, Homie, this is the driving schedule. Homie runs away. And she's like, well, I guess I'll have to do all this driving. And then suddenly she's always been the one who does driving. Like, she was clearly going to let Homer do the driving at the beginning of that ep. But then he went and got drunk. So she's like, well, I'll have to drive. And then she's like, well, I'm driving all the time anyhow. I may as well make money. It's like, you weren't driving all the time.
Yeah.
It was.
And again, you could have fixed that with just a change in a line of dialogue to, okay, Homer, if you take the kids in this car, I'll take Lisa in this car, and then we'll share it. It'll be perfect. But it'll be like, and then she has to do all of it herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a while it's like, wait, if you're both driving in the same car, how's it going to make a difference?
Yeah, it seemed very. I think the whole episode seemed like they come up with some good individual gags for like the 2 or 3 seconds where something could have been funny.
Yeah.
But as an entirety of an episode, it really was just very flat.
Yeah, and there weren't any of the heartfelt moments. Like with Marge getting tired, it just happened that she started to get tired in that, I guess, in that space of that montage where they were doing like Flight of the Bumblebee, I think.
As I was going to say, they have like a weird techno montage, and
I heard the music was weird.
Yeah, very, very music that didn't fit at all. And yeah, she just gets in the span of a montage, has a new job, span of a montage, gets tired of the job. It's like, okay.
Yeah, what did you think driving people around for money was going to be, apart from driving people around for money? That's what she didn't like. She seemed to have no end of actual money. Like, that never came into it. It's like, I'm making $1,000 a week from whatever the hell, here to there driving.
Yeah.
People, I can't stand them.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few good jokes around it. Like, I like Dr. Nick, we got to take this thing to Mexico. But then, like, Nelson Muntz, like, pretend to be my mommy was really awkward.
Yeah,
and
it was.
I'm just irritated with Shana.
Yeah, who the fuck is Shana?
Fucking weird.
I'm Shana.
Like, is she? I know she's been there before.
She's like, Springfield's resident 16-year-old trailer trash hussy.
So nothing.
Who just says one thing.
I'm Shana.
Yeah, unless like
that's pretty much it.
She always says I'm Shana because that's what I wrote that down as well. It's like she goes to get her belly button pierced. Nelson turns out with a staple gun. Is like, I'm ready. She's like, I'm going to get this done at a reputable mall kiosk. Turns to walk away and then turns back and says, my name's Shana, and walks off again. And
yeah.
It's like,
she literally could have just gone catchplay.
Yeah, that's literally her catchphrase.
You know what? The more I'm thinking about this one, okay, keep the Mo plot line. So he goes to the work in the nuclear plant, impresses Mr. Burns, becomes safety inspector, replaces Homer. Homer then works at the bar full time. That's why Marge needs to work an Uber to make up the extra money.
There you go.
yeah, I'd watch
Same
that.
plot, few adjustments.
I'd love to see Homer managing a bar.
Yeah, it'd be good fun. I think he's probably done it before.
Yeah, that's one of my notes is, this is Homer the Mo Part 2. Because, there was that, like, season 13 or 14 episode.
But, okay, that was season 14. We're on 27, so it hasn't happened for a while. He got there in a different way. It had different consequences, and, it could still be fun.
And, and that storyline was never about Homer really owning the bar at all. It was more about Moe's journey and then him reinventing the bar.
Yeah.
Homer was just sort of owning the bar for a little bit.
Yeah, different focus. Same plot point, but different focus.
Yeah, and totally thought you could have cut out the whole relationship with Moe and Lady Fontaine in this whole thing. I didn't even know why it was there.
Well, because again, it felt like it was going to be something, and then it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I will say I really like the Lady Fontaine line where she says she was in the smell of music.
I missed what she said there.
I'm writing that down.
All right, that's not bad. Yes or no? Do you think you'd watch this one again?
Not by choice.
Am I on a plane?
Yeah. You're on a plane.
Plane, maybe.
Yeah, you're on a plane. You just gotten your dinner meal,
Okay, and they only have one episode of Bog's Burgers for some reason.
which you already watched. You
Yeah,
squandered it.
I watched that one already. Shit. What are the movies? No.
3 Twilights and the second Incredible Hulk with Eric Bana.
I kind of want to give that one another chance, actually.
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly is adorable.
Jennifer Connelly is always adorable. And always dates such terrible men
You mean
in
Edward
movies.
Norton? Eric Bana was the first Hulk.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, Jennifer Connelly was also the first Hulk.
Yeah,
I confused Jennifer Connelly and Liv Tyler.
How dare you, sir?
No.
Besmirch the name of Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
She's the original girl for the Rocketeer.
I know. And like gorgeous. No, like in almost every movie she's dating someone who's like out of their mind.
Oh yeah, Beautiful Mind. Fuck.
Beautiful Mind, Dark City, Hulk.
Yeah. All right, but maybe you're going to watch it again. What playlist does it belong in? Marge Jobs, which is a rare playlist.
Marge Jobs, Mo stuff.
Yeah, Mo stuff.
Most stuff's probably where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like your poop break in the playlist.
Can I put it at badly done comments on society?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, I felt like they were trying to make a greater point with the Uber but they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. And then that one guy had, the taxi driver was like, we used to have Uber fares when we gave everyone a lift.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know. I think the taxi was written in entirely to get that joke in. And it was the most ham-fisted thing I've seen since Mr. Fistham.
You should stop hanging out with him. He's a bad influence.
Another Mr. Fistham moment happened around here as well, where they jammed Christopher Lloyd in.
Yeah, that was so weird because I was like,
because he was on the show Taxi.
oh, fuck off.
Which
Was that Christopher Lloyd?
yeah. But I mean, it sounds really weird because, his Taxi character was, I don't know, 40 years younger than Christopher Lloyd now, so it didn't even sound like his Taxi character anymore.
Yeah.
Just no. Like, people don't know that.
No, I mean, I think they did because James L. Brooks was a big part of that show.
Okay. That makes slightly more sense.
But also, it's like one of those things that, like, when you watch this episode, and I discover from you, not from the actual show, that there's that kind of connection and that gag in there, means that they've spent, like, they wrote that, then they went, you know what would be funny if we could get the guy from Taxi Show in here. So they've organized that, brought all that in, done all that, and nobody's reread the script and went, actually, guys, none of this is funny.
None of it makes sense. Yeah.
They went, we can definitely get him because he's not worked for 45 years. Probably.
Oh, Christopher Lloyd still gets work.
Yeah, there's a movie where a piranha eats his butt.
Really?
Who eats his
A
butt?
piranha.
So anything else about the episode that you want to talk about?
My other note is Lady Duff. Quenching your thirst like the Duff girl. What if she
Yeah. I actually thought that was another good story point, actually, where, Homer and Lenny and Carl think that they'll get more sales by doing a ladies' night, ladies drink free, but all that happens is the bar becomes overrun by ladies. And
Yep, destructive ladies with their violent book clubs.
Also, that tactic would have 100% worked in real
yeah.
life.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
If you had that many, I've never seen that many women in Springfield ever that were in Moe's bar. You would have had 1,000 guys paying $100 each.
Yep.
That's $100,000 to get in there.
absolutely. I mean, did Duffman know that Lady was hitting the town?
I think they hit the towns at the same time.
I feel like I have a spoiler for you. That is stuff, man.
Do you reckon he would really dress up as a lady to get free
To
booze?
get free booze from the company he works for and he carries a bandolier of booze at all time anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Duffman doesn't seem like a guy who thinks things out a lot.
Can you have too much free beer? No.
Yeah.
I've never come across too much free beer, so I guess not. Yeah. So, carry on.
But yeah, in that scene as well, I liked the ladies fighting over the book club, but then at the end when she's dragging her along by the neck with the bookmark right up to her neck.
Yeah. It was,
I think they had thought of a witty pun for "you'll find her lovely bones in the car park." I
Yeah.
think someone had made a book club female readership pun based on lovely bones.
Yep.
All right.
That was it.
Yeah, so when
Yep.
you guys don't get the taxi joke, I don't get the book joke. And
No,
The
book
Lovely
joke
Bones
wasn't
is the
there
name
to
of the
get.
book.
I mean, it was there to get, but
yeah,
I got it and it was not funny.
no.
I laughed nunts.
Nuns.
Oh yeah, when the Mose is falling apart, the dog, that is such a like classic soundbite of a dog barking. I want to call it like the Wilhelm bark, or the
Yeah.
or the Wilhound scream.
I really, because okay, so
Wilhound scream.
Yeah.
Well played.
they're all like, oh, this coaster is still okay. The back wall collapses, and
Yeah.
the last back wall collapses, and there's a dog. That really should have been something funnier.
Yeah,
That should have been like a please don't tell people how I live kind of thing.
yeah, but it was a bit
It's
of
the
a
dog, and you're like, oh, there's a dog there. Hi, how are you?
Oh.
Hanging out in an alley, huh? That's what dogs do.
Yeah, it was such a non-joke. And yeah, similar was the one where Marge is driving the kids around and Milhouse is there. Then all of a sudden Kirk's in the boot. And then he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm popping up to make a joke about how I'm poor.
I'm a bad guy.
There was a little bit of continuity there where Mo mentioned that the plant lost a lot of money from Elon Musk.
Yeah, which was odd because it's like, way to reference a bad episode, dickbags.
Yeah, so earlier in this season, actually, they had Elon Musk guest star for an entire episode, and it was basically the We Love Elon Musk show.
Yep.
Right, and then so they're now stabbing in the back going, we had a terrible episode because Elon Musk was here?
No, he cost the town a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, the episode did
Right.
end with that, and yeah.
I thought it was just random ripping on Elon Musk because they were a nuclear power plant and he's definitely making electric cars.
Yeah,
He sure is.
Yeah, that's the thing. He sort of bankrupts the nuclear power plant, and I don't really remember. It was a bad episode. I'm trying not to think about it.
It really was.
Honestly, all my other notes are just gags that made me go, ugh. Like the Venus flytrap.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
I kind of half laughed at that. It's
Yeah?
like, some people think you catch flies with honey, but I think you catch more flies with the Venus flytrap.
Like many things, it's always improved with Burns, but...
Yeah.
Mr. Burns has a great line where he's speaking to Mo and just says something about his ugly ethnic head.
Yeah, he does. Oh, how does such a good idea come out of such an ugly ethnic head? And
Mr.
yeah, he's
Burns.
just looking at him smiling as well, just like not aware of his own racism.
Yeah, he's just like, this is the way it is.
That's another weird bloody background thing. Is okay, they're in the cafeteria, Mo walks up, and Lenny and Carl get up and walk away, and Homer
Yeah.
tells him off for being a dick. In the background, there's an executioner with a hood.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's calling
What's
back
that?
to the old Homer spinning the donut pastry thing.
Right. Yeah, it looked like him.
Come on, Larry, can I whip you after lunch?
No. I
Yeah.
just thought it was a cut joke, like the remains of a cut joke or something.
That's a weird thing to
That's what it
reference.
also could be, yeah.
Because that hasn't happened for a long
Yeah,
bloody time.
that's got to be like season
Yeah.
6 or 8. That's super early, surely.
Oh my god, it's Rosebud, Mr. Burns, Teddy Bear Bobo.
Yeah. So must have been that's 20 years ago.
Sorry, my brain just like flashed
Oh.
through like scanning series of Simpsons.
Yeah, I could see, see from the outside like, the computer screen flashing in your eye.
You went full Jeff Goldblum then.
Stop going full Jeff Goldblum.
Thought stylistically, the Raining Hard in Springfield song parody where they do join the A and B stories, it was fine. Like there wasn't really anything particularly funny about the song parody itself, though.
I literally don't remember it.
It's raining hard in Springfield,
Ah,
and then
yeah.
Mo says to me something, and then I'm telling you, well, I'm driving Uber now.
I didn't even get the song reference. I don't get it now. So
Oh, I don't even know what the song reference was.
Yeah, I assumed it was referencing something, but I didn't know what it was. It was just a bluesy country song.
well, that's 3 for 3.
Seems like Donovan.
I feel a little bit Springsteen maybe.
Yeah.
I
It was
think
almost like The Gambler, but not as good.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, it had a very talky country vibe about it.
Mm.
Mhm.
And also that song went for way too long. And,
Yeah.
And then there was bits where Mo was saying what the lyrics were saying in the song.
Yep.
But then they were miming Mo over the song lyrics. So the song lyrics were like, I've left all the places I can go call my home. But you
Yeah.
could see like Mo's mouth lip moving to that. But the song lyrics were saying, I could see all the places. And like, this is...
Which I thought, I mean, it's a bit confusing, but it's a good stylistic choice. But it's just weird that, okay, it was a male vocalist. It's sung from the perspective of Marge.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, superimposing Mo. Like,
Mo
yeah,
over the top
so,
of it.
I think it was one of those things. Maybe not a bad idea, but just poorly executed because none of us got it,
yeah.
and it moved the plot line. It was kind of cute, but if it was from something we all knew, it would mean something else. But at this point, it was just like, okay, that's what? I'm gonna Google that later, and I never will.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you won't Google that.
No, I won't.
What are you going to Google? What song sounds like that song out of that episode that I just watched?
Yep.
And yeah, at the end there, Marge hangs up her Ubering and gives Mo the smile from the front of her car.
Yep. And then Mo's pub is fine. It's
Yep.
just repaired
It's
immediately.
better than fine.
Yeah.
It was like it was more put together than it was before. They had a while. They sold so much booze, not sold it, but had so many people in there that
Yeah.
they trashed the place.
I know, it's like he can't reopen the bar because it's been trashed after all these people ruined it, and now he can.
And he literally had 2 nickels. No, he didn't even have 2 nickels to rub together.
because they disintegrated. I did like that.
That was a very silly joke, but I
liked it. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, you got me, guys. And then the smiley face talks to him at the end. It's like, I'm watching you
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, what does the mouth say? Like,
I
fuck
can't
you
remember-
in the butt or something. And
Can't
he's like,
know what it says. You're like, who said this? Like, oh, you'll find out.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it cut to black. I'd had actually one of my notes here says all of the set breaks in this episode were terrible.
Yeah.
There's one where Mo made a joke. It held for 2 seconds with no one moving and then went to black. And I just went, that's exactly what that joke was. Someone said something that was supposed to be funny. There was dead silence and then the picture went away. Is a response to a lot of the jokes in this. Like there were some good single line jokes that made me laugh, but that as just a story or just as the vibe of the whole thing, the feeling of it was mute sound and then disappearing picture.
Yep.
I'm going to bring it up now mostly from a structural thing. So I got this from, Matt Park and Trey Stone, the South Park guys?
Yep.
They have a really interesting thing where they talk about plot structure, and it should be, you've got your thing, but then something else happens. Therefore, this happens. Meanwhile, this other thing is happening.
Yeah.
That's the way you mostly want to structure things. You don't want to have what I believe this has, which is, and then this, and then this, and then this happens, and then this happens, because that just goes on and on, doesn't have a motivation or a momentum to it. And I think this is exactly an example of and then. It's like, okay, so...
Yeah, what happens at the start is very inconsequential to what actually happens at the end.
Yeah, well, not only that, there's just no logical through line, and you're just basically like, okay, so because Marge has to drive everywhere, she starts up an Uber, and Homer takes over Moe's, but then Moe's ends up getting fired, losing his bar. So then, and then Moe goes to work for the nuclear plant, and then Moe gets promoted, and then it's like, what does any of this have to do with anything? It's just going. It's just, a ball of yarn that's unwinding, and then it'll stop.
Yeah. Phil, any more notes about the episode?
I was going to say 2 things. I have a note that says right at the end, Mo got angry at the guys in his new bar, stood in the bar, and they slid him down the bar while he was still standing up. And he says, and I quote, "Hey, don't slide me down the bar." And that made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
The only other note I had is before we started talking about this episode, I was thinking it was a good, silver, middle of the pack, but now I'm really starting to actively dislike it.
Yeah. Well, that means it must be time to rank this thing.
What a segue!
Sorry, did you have something you wanted to say? I felt like I cut you off there.
No, I just enjoy the noise happening around me.
Fair enough.
I'm like an amused beagle.
On the Simpsons Index.
Take 2.
On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. And maybe if the episode's like meh, we give it a participant. Then the good rankings are bronze, silver, gold, and for the best of the very best, those episodes that the Simpsons could not exist without, we give cubic zirconia. And I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. Man, it was such close to being a bronze, but not. The more we talked about it, the more it came down for me. This is super participant territory for me right now. BT, what do you reckon?
When we started off watching the episode, before we got to maybe the third plot line that did nothing, I was probably at a silver. I was having a good time. And then, pretty much that dropped to a bronze. And then by the end, I'm like, this is a brilva. And in talking about it, this is a participant. It's fine. I'll put it on and ignore it and take a nap.
Phil?
I was the same. I thought during the episode, or at least the first part of it, I was maybe not full silvering, but, it was silver hue.
Yeah. It was at a, where are you going episode.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I've laughed a couple of times. This could go somewhere. And then by the end, I was solid bronze, but now I'm definitely hard participant.
Yep.
And there are still some good bits, to be fair. But, overall, it has an aura of participant.
Yeah, it's
aura of participant, Calvin Klein.
All right, cool. Well, that about does it for My Fair Lady. Now we're going to go back to season 17 with My Fair Laddie.
What?
Wait, there's a theme.
You son. Oh, wait, is this the one where they My Fair Lady Willie? Yes. I kind of like this one, I think.
And we are back, and we just watched My Fair Laddie. It's season 17, episode 12, written by Michael Price, first released in February 06. In this episode, Lisa turns groundskeeper Willie from groundskeeper to gentleman, a good gentleman, and also the parody of My Fair Lady. A bunch of song parodies are chucked in there, and in the B story, Homer ruins his last good pair of blue pants and then hatches a scheme to get new blue pants.
Yeah.
Guys, what did you think?
That second B story description sounds like you made that up off the top of your head, but that's actually what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
He ruins his pants. He gets new ones. Story over.
It's some fun, It's not amazing, but compared to the last one, where our biggest comments were structurally, it was just a disaster. This one has structure.
Yeah. Even though the A and B stories have very little to do with each other.
So they don't have to. You know?
Yeah.
Well, technically they should meet towards the end.
Oh, it's nice if they can.
So we'll get into the story first of all. It was an A and B sort of story structure. And what I didn't like about the B story is it totally felt like it was there to just fill in.
It felt very much like a B story. Yeah, I think this was, 4 scenes?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, you got the intro with the go-kart where he ruins the pants.
Yep.
I hated all that.
Yeah, that was not good. Because he's all like, Marge is like, oh, those were your last pair. How did you ruin them? He's like, oh, ways that are normal. And then you cut to him go-karting, but the bottom falls out, so he scratches his butt along the asphalt. You could have just said go-karting.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to hide that. Just go, I ruined them go-karting.
You could have just gone, Hamish could have just gone, normal wear and tear. And then that'd be it.
Yeah, you don't need, like, that. Just imply he did something stupid. You don't have to go to something that is actually pretty understandable. It's like, well, your bottom dropped out of your go-kart.
Yeah.
You lost your pants immediately.
The employed teen goes, oh, your go-kart's broken. And he's like, no, I paid for 50 laps. I'm going to take them. And he drives past a sign that says lap 3. He drove 47 laps on a go-kart where his butt was dragging on the ground.
His pants were ruined immediately. He didn't have to, like, keep driving to ruin them.
Yeah. No, what I was saying is he ruined his spine.
Oh, yeah, he would have ruined a lot.
Yeah. And then he cuts the deal with the blue pants manufacturer to put an ad on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets the blue pants, and then him and Marge are in bed later. He's gotten rid of the ad, but now he has other ads, and then that's the end of the story.
And he also makes no money from any of it.
He says he makes $100 at the end per week.
A week, yeah, but then we don't see him.
But it feels like they're going for an escalation there, where he's now got more ads on him, but then that's the end of the story. There's nothing further.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously based off a fact from that woman who got Gold Palace Hotel tattooed on her forehead and launched a bunch of other people on the internet doing the same thing. But just kind of didn't go anywhere, ended, but it was filler, and we all kind of appreciated it as such.
Yeah, and then, the groundskeeper Willie thing, I mean, I haven't seen My Fair Lady. Have you guys?
Yeah.
No, but I know enough of pop culture to recognize it when I see it.
Yeah. Is that one of the ones that you guys used to spin in the house all the time?
I'm pretty sure Beck our sister sat me down and had to watch that one. And
I feel like I've heard the soundtrack more than I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mum probably had it on repeat as well.
Because I definitely had the feeling, and I have a note here that says it's too on the nose for whatever that movie was.
My Fair Lady?
My Fair Lady. Like there was no deviation. Like you could see the dialogue was very similar. The songs were all based on the song. I just felt like they just went, we'll just do this movie, but in the Simpsons way, and that was it. There was no variation to it.
No, that's absolutely it, and that's pretty much the summary of the Groundskeeper Willie storyline. But yeah, at the start, it felt like they had even more filler material with this bombardment guy.
Yeah, I know you personally hate this, so...
What do you guys think of it?
Why don't you get into it, Elliot?
Oh, it's just, a guy whipping balls at kids and just fucking abusing children.
It's very one note.
Yeah.
I like the beginning of it, the very first scene where he's like, well, we're going to get rid of all the other gym segments, just that bombardment.
Yeah.
That part's fine, but it goes on too long. But if you'd kept that one scene and recalled it once later, that'd have been fine. And actually, I have a lot of issues with the conclusion of that bit. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, its conclusion is just there to set up the main story, the Groundskeeper Willie bit. And it didn't even need to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only segued by that the ice ball that Bart whips.
Well, that's my problem, because, so Bart gets a dodgeball, fills it up with water, puts it in the freezer, takes it into school. First of all, what's his plan? Just to throw a really heavy ball that he could not possibly lift at someone? Like, how is that
And also
helping?
giving him ample time to dodge.
Yeah, he slowly approaches him with it. But first of all, he yells kid power before he throws it.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. And
That's very
how fucking strong is Bart?
Yeah.
This is an ice ball he had trouble lifting when it was full of water.
Into the freezer. Yeah.
He throws it out of the gym across the field into Willie's shack. It's like, someone from film theorists, do some math on that. That's going to be a strong 8-year-old.
Yeah. And the other thing that pisses me off, they made a point because...
Sorry, 10.
Yeah. They made a point because, Lisa's sax was also in there and they had her pull it out and, it's cold, it's sticking to her, it's freezing her lips onto it, whatever. And then, so the ball doesn't do that to Bart's hand all of a sudden? Well,
it'd be rubber and not metal, so it probably wouldn't be the same.
Really?
Yeah. It's not cold things, just cold metals.
Yep.
How long have we got? Let's run some experiments.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not convinced.
Ben, get your only saxophone and your biggest freezer.
Right away. I'll just ride my horse to get there.
He doesn't have a horse at all. It's just 1.5 coconuts.
Haha, made you think they were coconuts.
Damn it.
That's some good Foley work. Yeah, that's the basic story outline. Let's do a questionnaire. Play count. How many times do you think you've seen this one?
At least twice.
At least never.
All right, first time tonight. Yeah, I think I've seen this 3 times. I tend to avoid it. I have been fooled into watching it. Because I keep forgetting that the Blue Pants story is tied to this episode.
Yeah, I didn't know they were part of the same one because they are so very disconnected. And I thought Blue Pants was a longer storyline, but nope.
No, it's like 3-4 scenes tops.
Yeah, which is a shame because I kind of like the idea of here's something iconic of someone's that's gone now, and
Yeah.
how do they get it back?
But
Will we draw new pants in the future? What?
But then it's like, it didn't make really any sense in even a story way, because he's like, goes to the factory, they go, we don't make it because we made a terrible ad that was terrible. We don't make these pants anymore. And he's like, if I drum up more business, will you make pants again? And they're like, sure. And then he just walks around with a tattoo on his head, and people are like, I love blue pants. And then that's the end of it.
Yeah, you don't even see him like going around town and people getting impressed. It's just literally Lenny and Carl.
And you don't even see him get his new blue pants.
He just has them.
He doesn't even have them. They're in bed and they're just draped over the bed.
He just says, well, I got my pants back.
Yeah, he doesn't even go, yes, new pants. One of my schemes finally worked out.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, they're over there. We're in bed. And
I think I'd rather follow that and see him go through the trauma of losing something that is so beloved to him.
Yeah.
And the victory of getting it back. That feels like that would be the better emotional ride.
Imagine if he had like an unfortunate series of events. You know, he was just going out to the shop and then just one after another things kept happening to his blue pants. And yeah, instead of like having that go-kart scene dragged out, have an actual first act dragged out dedicated to it.
Yeah, no, okay.
You can do like a comedy of errors around pants.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Have your first night be, this is my last pair of blue pants. I got to wear them when I go buy more blue pants.
Yeah,
and then have them destroyed in that process.
And then also the reason that the pants company went out of business is because people buy one pair of blue pants and they wear them for 32 years.
They're too good.
Yeah, there's a lot of actual storyline in there that you could be way better than recreating My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
Also, my first note is they bring Willie back home and they're like, Willie, why don't you tell us what you could be? And he's like, I would like, in a Scottish sing-song voice,
Yeah.
he sings, I would like a place of my own, and then stops. And I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
A song that lasts for 3 seconds and then stops. And
the non-start song.
I wrote, great song, very short. And then he sang again, and I wrote slash much, much longer.
Yeah.
And then there was like 1,000 songs in this episode.
Yeah. There were about 4 or 5, I think. I'm going to say, Wouldn't It Be Adequate was probably my favorite of all of them.
Oh, yeah. And you can kind of tell that because that's the one that gets the most kind of staging and you got the most characters there. I think it probably runs the longest.
Yeah.
Someone was like, what if instead of Wouldn't It Be Lovely, it was Wouldn't It Be Adequate?
Yeah.
And they just was really proud of themselves the rest
I
of the
can
day.
see why we pay you the big buddy.
It's like, well, yep.
Yeah, no, I felt like the song parodies were really easy, but did it ultimately feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
I'm going to say yes. No one's off point. It's structured nicely.
Nah, I mean, the only reason Willie's off point is because it's the story, but even then I
don't think we've ever spent that long with Willie in my entire life, so it was a bit weird.
Well, also, actually, I was going to say with the voice and the singing, I feel like, I'm pretty sure it's Dan Castellaneta, I feel like he lost the Scottish accent a lot in the songs.
It would be hard to do an accent and then sing in it.
Yeah, like, I mean...
It sounds tough.
Yeah, I say that with all sympathy because, like, you watch episodes like that and, Dan does so many voices and does them all in different sing-song. Like, it must be hard.
Yep.
But also, that's what he pays a lot of money for.
Yep.
But yeah, feeling like a Simpsons episode, everyone's pretty on point. It's sort of like Lisa to take on a project like this, but I have no fucking idea what it has to do with a science fair.
No, he's like,
No.
I'm going to turn him into a gentleman for science.
He also didn't write anything down the entire time. And Mythbusters have taught me anything, and it's taught me a lot. It's the difference between messing around and science is writing it down.
Yep.
Exactly. That's why the Simpsons Index is a scientific podcast.
We make notes. These are all recorded forever on the internet. You're right, my God.
And you can find our results at thesimpsonsindex.com. That's right, thesimpsonsindex.com.
Have we organized things in an easy-to-read spreadsheet?
Oh, we certainly have at thesimpsonsindex.com.
That would be adequate.
Wouldn't it be?
Wait, you've been typing up my notes?
No, just your rankings.
Oh, that's right then.
Yeah. And your diary entries.
That's less okay.
You have a lot of interesting dreams.
They all involve running after slow-moving objects they can't catch.
Beautiful, really.
Because you don't run, even in dreams.
Family motto.
Yeah, that's true.
Talk about the wackiness of the episode.
Bart is inhumanly strong. I'm
Yep.
sorry, I'm sticking with that. It bothers me.
Children are inhumanly resilient.
Yeah, no one gets injured by being hit in the face with a rubber ball.
Point blank, yeah. By someone
Yeah.
who's clearly done this a lot.
Yeah, oh, he's got a lot of upper body strength.
That's a body that Bombardment built. Wow, okay,
He
there's
does
a new
that-
tongue twister. Body that Bombardment built.
But yeah, wacky moments in the episode.
No, it's all the dodgeball stuff, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess a lot of the musical moments, wearing the pets for shoes and
I turn my brain off during the musical moments of The Simpsons. Unless you are wearing pets as shoes, I don't want to know about it.
Which is
Yeah.
weird, because if you're wearing a gorilla's vest, we're all ears.
Yeah.
well, that's why I wanted to bring you this episode today, because I know you hate musical episodes, but you loved See My Vest. Had to come at a price. Yeah.
Damn it. I did not agree upon this price.
But yeah, wacky. I mean, even Homer's. It wasn't even a tattoo. It was. He just said it was painted on.
Yeah.
Bit of glue in the dark for some reason.
It's not.
I thought it
supposed
was a
to.
tattoo, but now that you mention it, it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was just...
Marge says he washed it off. He didn't have to
Yeah.
get it lazily removed.
So it's the least thing to have conflict over ever. It's like
Yeah.
there's a thing on your back of the head that could easily wash off. Yes. Okay. Good.
Yeah, of all his wacky schemes, this has the least amount of impact.
Yeah, he pretty much just drew on himself.
Well, it couldn't have been himself doing it. You can't draw that legibly on the back of your own head.
He-
Or can we, Elliot J. O'Neill?
Be right back. Trying to draw an Elliot's head.
I do have a similar canvas to Homer going on, so maybe.
Mhm.
Did you feel any heart from this episode? Willie longing for his shack?
No.
I gotta say, I felt like they actually dealt with Willie's longing for his old life very well.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it made sense. Oh, we're at the end of the project. What do we do? I don't know what to do with myself. Oh,
Yeah.
I miss life. Like, that made sense to me.
And Lisa tries to give him a new life, but he's all like, yeah, this sucks. I miss being a schlub.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, I feel like there was more emotion to be had in the pants, but I often feel there's emotion in the pants. Specifically in the blue pants.
Yep, yep.
And, losing a piece of his identity, essentially. It's basically what this story is about. Both of them lose a piece of their own identity, one through an attempt to better themselves they then don't want, and the other because they don't make blue pants anymore.
Oh, there we go. Well, there was at least some effort there.
There's a lot of stretching you did there.
I
but
know.
you got there in the end.
I
Like
limbered
blue
up-
pants, they will stretch and stretch and stretch for 30
I
years.
limbered up before this podcast, so
Oh, that's what those noises were.
that's what it was.
But yeah, genuine heartfelt moments, not really. Like, I did feel sorry for the kids towards the end of that Bob Barnett bit, because that was like the first half of the first act.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh.
solid pummeling.
All dedicated to whipping balls at children.
Bart's got, shock so
Yep.
bad.
I said that.
I was going to ignore it, but fine.
What were you saying, man?
I say Bart's got like shell shock so bad he's shaking so much he can't get his cereal in his mouth.
Yeah.
And I do actually like Marge has the line of, well, if someone's bullying you, you should tell your teacher. My bully is my teacher. Well, tell your regular bully he won't like someone else getting it on his turf.
Yeah, I would have liked that, and if they followed that a bit. Like,
That could have been a good way of doing it, because you imagine Nelson would be less taking shit from this teacher than Bart would be.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can appreciate that the frozen dodgeball destroying Willie's shack was a way to get into the Willie story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just seems they missed some better tricks. Like, that could have been the B story anyhow, and we could have left whatever the blue pants alone.
Yeah.
But
Bart
yeah.
dealing with bombardment could have been beast.
yeah, they could have been, the kids gang up to a bullying teacher might have more length in it than I'm searching for a blue pair of pants. They're not even a material. He just wants blue pants.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
jeans
it's not
are blue
specified
pants.
what they are.
Yeah.
Well,
And then that bit, the montage where he walks through the neon signs like a drunk through Las Vegas, but
Yeah,
they just
the
all
old-
say blue pants.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is... I got the joke in a second because I'm very smart. I can read blue pants. And then I was bored for the next 12 seconds while a different sign saying blue pants went past.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
really... I guess usually when they do that bit, it's usually pretty funny. But this time it really, really wasn't.
Yeah, I think there's an odd playlist to be made out of midnight strolls walking through neon signs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cliche.
It's probably a good half hour.
Yeah, I'd say so. The defense I'll give in that is like a blue Slurpee is not a specific flavor, but it's blue.
Yeah, that's true.
The blue pants are like the blue Slurpee of clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or slushy, depending on where you come from.
Or Gatorade.
Or squishy.
Yeah.
What flavor is it? Blue.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Futurama episode where frying the popcorn and blows it up. What tastes like blue? or Homer. It's got purple inside. Purple is a fruit.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of that bit.
Yes or no? Do you think you'll watch this one again?
No, I don't think so.
I'll specifically need motivation, like if we're marathoning all the musical episodes or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
We won't invite you, it's fine.
Jesus. Punch me in the nuts.
It's because I'll have these things tattooed in my brain that, the musical ones don't bother me too much.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe not. But out of curiosity, if it was going in a playlist, yeah, musical episodes, midnight neon song montage, cliches, weird hard focus on a very B, C, D, F
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, definitely. And also a parody movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Could go in. And I think my issue for it was I wasn't really invested in the whole Willy transformation science fair thing. Like he didn't really seem to want it. The thing he wanted was
yeah.
a place to live.
Yeah.
That was it. And then maybe his teeth cleaned. But then they're like, we'll turn you into the most spiffing gentleman that there ever was. And what do they call him? G.K. Willington Esquire.
Yeah.
I did laugh.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a clever way to tie that in.
Yeah, it was fine. But it just seemed like he didn't really want that. He had no motivation for being upper class. He wanted a place to live and
Yeah.
drink terps.
And it's not like Lisa was super motivated herself. It was like, yeah, whatever, lofty science fair excuse. And then, there's a mild hint at a bet with Bart. But
Yeah, because a bet happens in My Fair Lady, but we never find out what the stakes here are.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we'll have a bet. Certainly taken. Like, wait, what?
And then there's a secondary bit where Mo or Curly or Stu or whatever the bullies are called
perfect.
bet with each other that Curly can't get around the world in 80 days. He's like, oh, I'll take that bet, and runs off and floats away in a hot air balloon, and then you never see that again. I was
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
expecting to see that as the last scene.
Yeah.
He comes back in a biplane, and he's like, well, did I make it in 80 days? He's like, sorry, old boy, 81. And they'll be, doop, and they'll be end.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, I did write that because they have a weird recap at the moment. Like, what are they doing? Oh, it appears that Lisa's teaching Willie to be a perfect gentleman. It's like, we know. Thanks.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
didn't need to cut to the bullies for that. And it was for that whole, oh my God, you're traveling to Istanbul in the wrong way in your hot air balloon.
Oh my God, do you not even know where Istanbul is?
Also, if you're going around the world, there is no wrong way to Istanbul.
Yeah.
No,
All
that's right.
roads go to Istanbul. All hot air balloons go to Istanbul.
No, as long as you really just keep going the same direction, you should
Yeah.
be right.
Pick a direction from Portland. Keep going.
Yeah.
Not Portland, Oregon. I keep doing that.
No, that's where Portland is.
Portland's the
is
city,
Spring-
Oregon's the state.
Is
Oh,
Springfield,
yeah,
is
yeah.
Springfield in Oregon?
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
How do we know this?
A, apparently they gave it away in an episode, and B,
Like 2 or 3 years ago, yeah, Matt Groening said officially, yes, it's Oregon.
there's also a
Ah.
very good episode of Film Theorists where they unpack the evidence and do find out. It's actually very interesting.
See, the only issue with that is when you unpack the evidence, is it just them not making a gag about not being in a particular state for 10 years that then limits where
That's
they're
the problem
from?
because there are lots of times where they're like, okay, they're saying that Springfield's in the middle of America now, and it comes into that. It's never on the east, but it's always floated somewhere between the west and the middle,
Mhm.
and you do notice things like that where the joke worked better when it was a bit ambiguous.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Okay.
yeah, point is, pick a direction, keep going that direction. You've gone around the world.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Other episode specifics that I want to talk about. A little bit of continuity there with Mrs. Pommelhorst.
Yeah, I did like that. Mostly because I really love the line where she first shows up of, Mrs. Pommelhorst, late to get down now.
I know. It's such a funny name for a 5-year-old to be saying. Yeah. I didn't think much of the whole, she's going to be coming back as Mr. Pummelhorse, so telling you now, so don't make any jokes. Immediately a joke.
No, they were saying, we're telling you now so you can get your jokes out.
Oh, is that what it... Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought he said so don't make any jokes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, that's 2 versus 1, so I'm going to assume I'm wrong.
But then Nelson goes, it looks like there'll be some new wood in the workshop. And then Skinner does the thing that he would never have done and go like, heh, new wood.
Yeah.
Also, I did make a note. There was a lot of sexual single entendres in this episode.
Yeah?
They mentioned there's a bit where
Yeah.
W.G. Billington, Esquire, has made a date with Mrs. Krabappel, and he goes, I'll see you on the 22nd, and opens his diary to the 22nd and writes, boink, slut.
Yeah. So that was funny to me because he was being very proper. No, yes, I will be able to make arrangements on the 20-something.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Single entendre.
That's not even going dinner and date plus more with someone. It was like, boink, slut. Like, oh, okay. That's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just caught me off guard.
Yeah, it was boink slut, not make relations.
And then Skinner's mum had like 2 sex gags.
Oh, she wanted herself some GK. Why didn't I say Willie? Come on, Elliot.
Because you could have said GK Rao.
Yeah, but she was very overtly, aggressively sexual towards him.
But she's been that before sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of overt sexuality, Krusty in the yoga studio, that felt uncomfortable.
And also Krusty and his date who goes to take off her top at the front of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, wait till we get to the booth. Like, it seems like, I don't know what's going on here.
Like he hired a topless dinner date or something.
I mean, is that a thing you can do? Like, I love boobs, but I don't want to see them and eat.
True, there's a weird mix there. It's like, I usually reserve separate times for these things. I feel like there should be no crossover because there'll be trouble.
Yeah, it's like I never brush my teeth while I'm pooping.
Yeah.
I never eat while I'm looking at boobs.
It's like that thing in Seinfeld where George starts mixing in food in his sex life to the point that now when he eats a pastrami sandwich, he starts getting flustered.
See, this is what happens.
And that's partly why I don't do it.
Yeah.
Or know what pastrami is.
Oh, it's so good. Especially if you go to the New York place and like stack it up that high.
New York deli pastrami. Yeah.
Fucking miss you, New York. But yeah.
We miss you too, Elliot.
Thanks, New York.
But yeah, her name as well was really on the nose. Charity Titters. It was some good wordplay though.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was kind of, it hit wrong, but I like the effect of, I don't need your charity titters.
Yeah.
In effect to laughing at somebody and then going, come on, charity titters.
Yeah.
I much prefer Busty LaRue though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busty Sinclair, Chesty LaRue, and
Chesty
Hootie
LaRue.
McDowell. Hootie McBoom, is it?
Hootie McBoom.
Yeah, I feel like it belongs in that Parthenon.
Yeah. It's just been said a little bit funnier. Like if he was talking down to her by calling her Chesty McTitters.
Yeah.
Like he's like, all right, come on, Chesty McTitters. That would be fine. But it seemed like that was her actual name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Miss Titters, what do you want to name your child? Charity.
Charity Titters. Bouncy.
Another joke I liked. I'm surprised in myself that I liked the whole Willie underneath a colander joke.
Yeah. So long as I got a pan. That's not a pan, that's a colander. That's where all my soup went.
That was
Yeah.
I do like it. Yeah, he did it with more surprise than I did. So that's where all my soup went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that down. That was a good joke.
Yeah, it's actually weird. I feel like I'm talking myself up throughout this conversation, but like a lot of the song stuff I didn't like.
I do have to say, I mean, obviously I didn't like the song things, but when he went to the factory that made the pants, it was called Worldwide Pants, and their sign gag was, we were called that before David Letterman.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that as well, yeah. I was like,
I think the episode's pretty good, but if you don't like the songs are 30% of it. So
I
Yeah.
don't like the songs.
I know you didn't. We've
Just letting people know.
We've discussed that.
Putting it out there.
But yeah, I really didn't like the could have danced all night one. What was that? I could dance inside now.
I could be inside
I
or
could
indoors
be
all night.
inside, yeah.
Yeah, I can be indoors all night. That one didn't do it for me. And it was just really him dancing around the ballroom. There wasn't much animation going on there.
No, it was all the other animators had gone home and just the Willy guy was left.
Pretty much.
Oh, what a depressing job.
Just
I'm
animating
the Willy animator. What? I just do one character in The Simpsons.
That
and
Willy.
then you're like, oh, it's even worse.
And then all your friends are like, is it hard to draw Willy? And you're like, shut the fuck up. I do kind of like that during the science fair, obviously because it's a parody, they've dressed up the gymnasium like it's a fancy banquet, a la My Fair Lady. Like, it doesn't make sense in context, but being a parody, I kind of like they've, for no reason at all, gone ultra fancy on the science fair.
Yeah, even had like a guy announcing everybody as they come in, and
yeah, it was dumb, but I liked it for the parody purposes.
And there was, when they did a quick pan of the room, and there was like science projects on tables with like the label of what they were.
Yeah.
And there was one table that was empty and it had a label, and I didn't see it in time to see if it was a joke or not.
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, saw it. Okay.
No, I missed that. Sorry.
I feel like it was a place that someone invented the invisible something, and it was just an empty table. But I was like, was it? Oh, I missed it.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
I did like.
Blinked.
We blunk.
I
Past tense. I did like Martin's project though, the surpriseometer, and especially Chalmers. Oh, I see.
Mild surprise.
Yeah. But, I mean, they were able to call back to it later when Groundskeeper Willie was revealed, and that was pretty clever.
I am slowly learning that almost any joke gets funnier with a throwback. So
Yeah. Oh,
almost
totally.
any.
And I did say before, nothing really much happened in the ballroom scene, but there was the bit where something caught on fire, and then he used it to flambe a dessert or something.
Set Willie's pants on fire.
Yeah, but it still wasn't much to it. And the other songs, the What Flows from the Nose Shouldn't Go on the Clothes.
Yeah.
So what is the parody of that?
That's the Rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane.
Yep.
Oh.
It was pretty...
Or if you want to switch to Family Guy, the life of the wife is ended by the knife, because this is apparently My Fair Lady is just an endless well for animators, I guess. But
yeah, although the blow nose, whatever, that was on the nose. But I liked that it was quick.
Not quick enough.
But it did lead into Homer's little Blue Pants song, which was kind of funny.
The Blue Pants song was alright, actually. But the reason I don't like songs in The Simpsons, or in every show, is that I've got the joke in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I have to sit through a minute of that same joke for the rest of the time. And unless you're wearing a gorilla vest, I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, unless the parody itself is inherently funny and continues to bring up funny lines, then you just got, you've repeated the same joke for the next 30 plus seconds.
Yeah, even Who Needs the Quickie Mart, I'm like, good, figured it out. Let's keep going.
I will forgive that solely for, he lied to us through song. I hate it when people do that.
But importantly, that happens after the song is finished.
You couldn't have done it without the song.
Yeah,
the song could have been shorter.
But one of the other problems with musical numbers in the comedy shows is the comedy becomes more about the rhymes, and I don't know, if you listen to enough comedy songs, you can sort of see where they're about to go, and
there's a much more limited framework in which to tell jokes with that.
And you also really need to know what the song is. Otherwise, it's just a dumb song that's not really good.
But in the instance of Who Needs the Quickie Mart or See My Vest, the parody is so good, and the lines are so unexpected. With See My Vest, you don't get the vibe of that. He has got so many animals he needs to go through and show you what he's turned into clothing.
It's true. I was not going to assume he'd have loafers made of gophers. Or a red robin suit coming one breast or two.
Yeah. No.
Grizzly bear underwear.
I will say the music is
something else I've had my share. There's some good rhymes in that song. Fuck, we should watch it again.
Turtles necks, I've had my share.
The music was...
I will say the music here is good. It's not half. It feels like full orchestration. Feels good.
Yep, and the contrast when Homer tries to butt in on the Blow Nose song and with his Blue Pants jingle, and they're like, Dad, we're not singing about that. He's like, go sing your own song. And he does, and then there's no accompanying music.
It's
and
just wandering off.
I'm getting blue pants. But like you're saying about getting the point, he's already sort of gone, I missed my old life. And then we have to sit through a number about how he lived.
And then they've got to close that scene off where he goes back home. It's like, I know, I've got it.
Yeah.
Do other things while that's happening rather than beat me over the head with it in musical form.
Yeah. And then Mr. Largo joins him for that. And I hated Mr. Largo throughout this whole episode.
Yeah.
His contribution to the song and him ending up on the roof.
Also because they're like, okay, well, Willie, because you're gone, we've replaced you with the next lowest person. And it's like, why is the music teacher lower than the groundskeeper?
No,
I'm
next
confused.
lowest. So they've taken the last person away.
All right.
But also, why would you get the music teacher to mow the lawn?
I don't know.
Also, why does he still have a haircut from 1712?
Yeah, he is really never got out of the 20s.
Very Beethoven-esque.
Yeah, found a style and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, the episode ends with Skinner almost literally saying, all right, well, we're back to zero, cliche. Like,
Yeah, that's very true. It did just go, and just signifying that everything's come back to normal.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, may as well just have it like a big alarm goes, warning, everything is back to normal.
Resetting to normal in 3, 2.
I think my only other note is there's a neat little sign gag because when Lisa's teaching Willie manners, she's reading to him from Gentile Ben.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed that.
That was cute.
Oh, the pants ad when he goes into the Worldwide Pants office.
Yeah. Like,
I know the joke was that it was meant to drag out so long, but goddamn did it drag out so long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a few gags recently that have been, feels like they're like, all right, guys, we are 12 seconds short of our running time today.
Well,
that buck gag, let's just run that for 9.5 more seconds.
That's it.
done.
No, it really felt like they had the Willy episode and it's like, oh, God, it's only 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Cram everything in.
And I feel like they just could have been, it seems like there could have been more things to do with Willie than other people deciding that he was down and out and needed help, then forcing him to help, and then him going back.
Yeah.
There's no real conflict from him not wanting to start being fancy pants and then being conflicted about going back home. And I felt like they didn't flush that out. That out enough.
No, it's Willie. Yeah, you could flush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like how he got to being a gentleman, but I do like how he got out. Like, I liked his realization, but I don't, think much of the whole Skinner having a let's shoot back to zero party. Like,
Well, okay, how Willie gets back is he's, working at the Gilded Truffle. Krusty gives him a hard time. So doesn't he just yell, do you want to see the dessert cart? And starts smacking his face into it. And Krusty's like, dessert cart, can I use that? And it's like, wait, was there a joke there?
Yeah, I thought I missed that as well.
Did anyone pick up a
And then
joke?
he's like,
no, he just literally starts slamming his head into a dessert
Yeah.
cart.
and I thought really the good come-ups would be if he went schizo on Bombardment Guy.
Yeah,
And
that'd
that
be
would
cool.
kind of be a good, because he got hit in the head 1,000 times with a piece of bread.
Yeah.
He went mad on Krusty because he was already sitting down at the diner that he works in Krusty's chair.
Yeah.
Where he aggressively ogles
It could have
Laddy.
easily been Bombardment Guy, and it would have tied everything else so much better together.
Yeah, we've
And
gotten some comeuppance.
The B stories would have merged back again.
Yeah, it absolutely should have been Bob. And because, why did they have him provoke him in the restaurant if not to do that then? Now it is time to rank this thing. BT, kick it off.
Oh, shit. Well, I liked it more than the last one. So I'm just trying to figure out, has it made its way all the way up to bronze? We've definitely built an better episode talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't hate the songs as much as you guys, but I agree they just, for the most part, don't need to be there, and I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of them. Bronze just isn't in my heart. I'm sorry. High participant, I think.
Participant for you?
I don't know. Come back to me, but yeah.
Phil, what do you think?
I'm going to say this it's wallowing in the shallows of bronze for me, I think. It was, I think, better now to have talked about it, but I didn't hate it, and it was kind of, I think low, bronze, high participant.
Yeah, that's where I'm sitting. That's
in that little cusp. I got a foot in each waiting pool there.
Yeah, well, what would you rank it for your definitive ranking, bronze or participant, though?
I think I'm going to have to go, I'm going to be harsh and put it in participant.
Yep. Look, I want to go bronze because I think it should be a shiny participant, but I can't. I really don't want to watch this episode again.
I think that's my main draw. When you said, do you want to see it again? I'm like, if it's maybe on and I'm having a conversation with someone in the same room, I'm not going to turn it off, but if it comes on TV, I'm probably going to go take a piss.
Yeah, look, there is no question this episode was better than the one we just watched.
Oh, yeah.
It's still not great.
If the first one we watched was like a low participant, this one's a high participant.
Yeah.
So they're in the same pool.
The definition is, I can't remember any quotes from this. I won't ever quote it again in conversation. There won't be a bit where I'm trying to sing the Blue Pants song.
I might say, wouldn't it be adequate? But that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even think that. I think I'll forget that by 2 beers' time.
Yeah. We might yell bombardment if we throw things at each other later.
I just yell duck, I can't throw properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it definitely doesn't pass the hangover test, not for me.
Is that where you wake up as Alan? What's the hangover test?
Oh, okay, no. He was referencing the Hangover the movie.
What?
Wakes up as Alan.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, hangover test is when you're lying on the couch, you have a Mac is sitting on your stomach, you have a hangover, The Simpsons is on, this episode comes on, and you can't reach the remote, do you get up to get it to change the episode, or do you just suffer through?
Oh, no, I'd change it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I feel like I would change this one. Yeah, I don't.
I'd at least get the remote.
Yeah.
Even if it's on the far end of the table? Even if you know if you reach out for it, you'll probably knock it off the table.
I just pull the table to me in all those scenarios.
Damn it. Why didn't I think of that? I've broken so many remotes.
And tables.
Yeah, that's why you don't have carpeted floors. Everything's slidable.
Yep. All right, well, that does it for My Fair Laddie, and that's where that theme ends. And we are going back to Season 1 with No Disgrace Like Home.
Okay, I thought it was going to be like My Fry Ladle or My Fry Ladle.
Oh, my friend ladle.
And we are back, and we just watched Season 1, Episode 4, There's No Disgrace Like Home, written by Al Jean and Mike Reese. This was first released in January of 1990. I know.
Jesus.
In this episode, Homer gets embarrassed at his family's behavior at a company picnic and endeavors to self-improve and signs the family up for family therapy that he saw in a pro wrestling commercial.
With Dr. Marvin Monroe.
Yes, the first and probably last appearance. No, that's not true.
Not his last, for sure.
No.
Definitely his first.
First and one of very few. He wasn't a reoccurring character. Guys, what did you think?
Good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I actually was surprised at how relevant the jokes still were.
Yeah.
20-something, 30 years on.
Yeah, there's like, it's not a problem, but there's the kind of thing where I can't write all of the jokes down because they were so highly contextual. You need, the 2 minutes of lead up to get the joke.
Yeah. There was a lot more slow burners, wasn't there?
Yeah, but it was still great to have some really laugh out loud moments on something that's this old is amazing. And this is obviously, why it's the show that is as revered as it is today.
Yeah, and you see a lot of the seeds, and there is a couple of moments where you're like, that's a bit off character, but it's from a different way, isn't it?
Well, it's from Season 1. They didn't know who these characters were.
Yeah.
I'd say the hardest part of the episode was getting used to the way the characters look because everyone's drawn differently.
Yeah.
And everyone sounds different.
Yeah.
So it's just that was a kind of a jolt.
And the motion's like missing 2 frames per second or something.
Yeah, it's kind of because it's all suffering from NTSC conversion.
Yeah. The whole PAL speed up thing, yeah. But, I mean, overall, it was, it's still a great episode, and where, a lot of Season 1 doesn't super hold up for me, this is, definitely a shining moment.
Yeah, I think it very much holds up.
Yeah.
Even though you kind of get a bit of character switch between Homer and Marge here.
Yeah.
But again, it's Season 1. They were figuring out who they were, and for Season 1 Homer, this makes sense. It's just Homer changes drastically between Seasons 1 and about 2 or 3.
Absolutely. This is not the Homer that you're ever familiar with seeing. He was, he cared what other people thought. He wanted to look to the future. He wanted to fix things. He had sensible ideas that made sense and then worked out.
Yeah. Well, as we have kind of talked about, as far as we can tell, there's about 3 generations of Homer. There's early Homer, who's the flawed patriarch, who's kind of the antithesis of Mr. Brady and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
The guy who, means well for his family, but is kind of a bit dim. And then there's kind of just goofy Homer, which is ones we know for most of the seasons. And then there's jerk-ass Homer in the modern seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I found in this episode, they were sort of hitting the points that, Homer still wasn't without his flaws. He was having more Marge moments, wanting the best for his family and all that sort of stuff. But I don't feel like they really did hit on his duller moments, that would make the family anxious at him.
Yeah, this was definitely Homer was the everyman, and he was suffering his family rather than he had moments where he would get frustrated and try and strangle Bart, but he wasn't overly dumb or doing things in a stupid way.
Yeah,
he was at the mercy of his family. He was Marge was drunk.
I know. Yeah. I actually really love Marge's drunk sequence.
Oh, totally. Her ramblings are fucking awesome.
Not only that, you've got this whole, I don't even know what you call it, the women at the Greek goddess fountain kind of
moment. I don't know what that song
is,
but it was really catchy. I'm I'm enjoying this tune.
Weirdly familiar. I know that must be from something, but it's a great little Bacchus sort of party, a Greek moment, something. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
If you were to put music to a fountain, it would be that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like also like that you get from her perspective where she's kind of got this bit of a song and there's all this dancing from the women around her in the background, and you assume you're going to cut to someone else's perspective and she's just going to be drunk, but no, you cut to someone else's perspective and the whole scene is still playing.
Yeah.
So like that, just when the women of Springfield get drunk, it turns into this weird sort of
all joined hands dance around the Mayflower. No, that's not that one.
I don't know what to call it. It's definitely like a thing from Greek fountain something wine.
There's a very maypole type feel to it, though. Yeah, everyone dancing around the meadows, celebrating the wine harvest.
Very Elysian Fields kind of feel to it.
There's no specific thing to what the reference is that I can see on Wikipedia anyway, but write us in if you know what it is.
Yeah.
So let's do a questionnaire. So the episode isn't A throughout, and it just transitions beautifully. It's so like focused. Like it doesn't leave many hanging threads as it goes. Like
well, as I was speaking before about the flow of plot structure, this was Homer wants to make a good impression, but his family make a fool of him. Therefore, they go to therapy. There's a flow there instead of and then. It lacks the meanwhile of not having a B plot, but it didn't need one. It was a very strong A.
Yeah, and I mean the only times where there sort of were story offshoots was at the company picnic, but all centered around the Simpson family. And
that kind of really just colouring in around the lines of this is where even in a point where Homer's told his family how important this is and to behave, they still can't. And everything else was like seeing how the normal, like, letting Mr. Burns win at the sack race.
Yeah.
Like, this is just the world you live in, and this is your family in that world. So it wasn't like a dream sequence or all part of the actual reality.
Yeah, it wasn't a throwaway. It was world building, essentially.
Yeah, we stayed within the same time and the storyline.
And play count, how many times do you think you've seen this episode?
I haven't seen it for a very long time, I know that, but I'm going to say in the 20s, 30s, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know. I'd say probably more than 10, just through wonderful Channel 10 only ever replaying episodes 1 to 6.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
never the new ones.
One day Channel 10 will just have a channel dedicated to Simpsons.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can feasibly do it now, and I think, Simpsons, like, back-to-back without commercials is, like, up to 12 days or something at the moment.
I don't know if it was 12. I think it was more like, it was a lot, though. It was a marathon and a half.
Yeah.
12 days is a lot of watching The Simpsons with no sleep.
I can quickly do the math now.
Yeah, Elliot's going to do
6:15 times 22.
You would need a catheter and some
you
IV
just put
drips.
you put the TV in the dunny, surely.
Yeah, you would. I just chamber pot.
All right. It's 9 days and 9.4 days.
Jeez,
still more than a week.
Yeah,
with no weekends,
and the show's not over yet,
and no stop. You mean we could index in less than 2 weeks if we just did it all back to back forever?
Doesn't count when you have to stop to then talk about it, though.
Yeah.
True.
So
a month.
Yeah, essentially.
Look, hello work. I need a month off. Podcast. What do you mean I'm fired?
What was the question? Yeah, play count. I've seen this probably 100 times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, this is one that I know that we had taped on VHS. Like, I can still see the Channel 10 watermark in the corner, and like about a half of a commercial for, like, I don't know, Con the Fruiter, or what was a show that was on around that time?
Mad about you.
Acropolis Now.
Yeah, definitely would have been Acropolis Now.
Effie.
Oh, hey Dad. Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know how that thing ended? Because I still remember that.
Wasn't he arrested for pedophilia?
No, well,
not IRL.
That was in real life. No, they all died. Like, someone breaks into their house, puts a bomb in their VCR, which is meant to go off after an hour, but they stop the guy and he gets taken away. And they're like, at the very end, they go, but wait, what about the bomb? And then confetti goes off and they're like, oh, thanks everyone, good night. And it's like, wait, did you all just die?
That's very weird.
I'm not going to lie, it may have been a fever dream, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, so lots of times to watch this one. Yeah, this does just remind me of childhood home and everything. So any memories of parts of this episode that stuck with you over the years?
I definitely remember the beginning of, we were fighting over who loves you more. Oh, okay, go on. You love him more. No, you do. And then, just the shock therapy.
Yeah.
The shock therapy and the Jello line, I remember, where it's like everyone brought Mr. Burns Jello because someone started a rumor. I think I actually remembered quite a bit about this, but not a lot of the jokes, but a lot of the setups.
Yeah. Me too. I haven't watched this in many years. Like, I don't really revisit season 1 that often. Like, And yeah, it's some of that stuff that just sticks with you, the visuals and all that.
And there's some great one-line jokes in there as well, or just call and response jokes almost. Like it was very,
totally.
It felt very sitcom-y, some of the setups. But there was that great one where they're at the dinner table and Homer goes, I feel like we're the worst family in the neighborhood. And Marge just goes, well, we should move to a bigger community.
That was excellent, man.
Especially from Marge. Where you're not expecting that. Now she would be like, oh, homie, we're not that bad or something. But that was just totally. Here's an answer to your immediate problem.
No, she totally had so many good moments in this episode. And it's unfortunate. Last episode we watched Brush with Greatness, the one where she paints Ringo Starr and then Burns commissions the portrait. Man, she gets some awesome lines in that episode too.
I haven't seen one for ages.
She has the killer line that ends the episode where Mr. Burns is like, thank you for not making fun of my genitalia.
I thought I did.
Yeah. And it's just like, bang. Like, yeah.
Also, there's even a great Mr. Burns line where he's talking about all the Jell-O and calls it, throw it on the jiggling pile of goop over there. There's just all this Jell-O.
Yeah.
She's that infernal tootling.
Yeah, that's another thing that I was going to bring up, because that happens in Brush with Greatness as well. Lisa's playing the saxophone and he says infernal tootling to her.
Oh, there we go.
Go back. Yeah, for some reason over the years, the phrasing of, why don't you both shut up, has always stuck with me.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if, and I know that's like from Children, or when Homer's looking at the Angel Car family and they're driving off.
Yeah.
Good, and he looks at his own family and they're all
one of us
devils. And they go, one of us.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that that's really kind of like from Children of the Corn, but I wonder if that chanting version, I wonder if that is.
I thought it was from like Freaks, which is like a 1940s movie.
Yeah, it's very much that same one of us. Like,
go, gargle, go.
Yeah, short of saying the gargle google or whatever it is.
It comes up a weirdly large amount.
Yeah. It's in South Park as well. They do it then. And
no, I mean, I've chanted it myself.
Yeah, I've just never been entirely sure of the reference. But
yeah. Any jokes you feel flew over your head on the earlier viewings?
I feel like I can't remember how old I was the last time I saw this. It's been a very long time, but I definitely didn't feel like I got the move to a larger community bit.
Oh, yeah, that totally. Like, that was a surprise laugh, that one.
Yeah.
And also, I really like where... Okay, so they've arrived at the picnic. Bart and Lisa go chasing each other. Homer's chasing them, trying to get them to behave. Marge is there with one of the other mothers who's like, she's like, oh, what a beautiful baby. Yeah, you want to put them down and get some punch? And then they go to like the childcare area and she's like, oh, is it okay to leave the kids here unsupervised? And the woman's like, you're right, and turns on the TV and just walks away.
And they're both satisfied with that.
I definitely didn't notice that kind of, TV will look after them bit.
I honestly don't feel like that was like a joke to me back in the day. That's just what happened.
Yeah.
You went to your parents' party, you got stuck in the downstairs room with the TV, and...
That was fine, yeah.
Yeah, well, nice. I think that was reality for kids, and that's kind of a gag for parents, because it's like, oh, that's what we always do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're a kid, you're like, I get to just watch TV and no one's going to tell me I'm watching too much? Awesome.
Ultimately, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Other than the character switch between Homer and Marge, but this is early Simpsons, so fair enough. They're finding it. Yeah, absolutely. Everything, they're the perfect dysfunction.
Yeah. Like, I still feel like, I mean, it's still Homer, but there's just not the stupidity there that there was even there in season 1 at times.
Yeah. And to be fair, Lisa's also very off in this one, I suppose.
Well, everyone is. Yeah. Well, everyone's basically Bart and Homer's Marge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
But I think in terms of flow and the way the jokes work and everything, the rest of it, sure. But character-wise, it is a little bit off.
And we do have a bit of, like, just off-model moments where we get White Lou.
Come on, we have Blue-Head Smithers.
Yep. Oh, yeah, Blue-Head Smithers. Everything's blue.
Everything's blue. TV's blue, school's blue.
Skinhead Barney as well.
Yeah.
That's just lazy. He's the closest character to the camera, or whatever you call that in animation. Give him a hair color.
Also, that Homer just outright punches him as well.
Yeah, they seem to not have the friendship that they have.
And I do like, and the thing that made me realize that like the writing is so much better here than as we've seen recently.
Yeah,
is they go to the bar. He's complaining about his life. There's a boxing match on TV that we've seen a couple of times in the scene, and then it goes to a fisticuff fight between Barney and Homer. But the commentation's coming from the TV, and then the TV reveals the ad for Dr. Marvin Monroe's family healthcare clinic, which then Homer sees and goes, oh, that's what I need. It tied in, everything tied in, and it made sense. Like nowadays it feels like Homer would punch Barney, fall over, and then something had been on the TV that you'd only seen an ad for Foxy Boxing 101, now with Pamela Anderson, and then nothing from it at all. And then when he needed it, it'd come back in to be, what you? Yes, you. Why don't you come to this thing? Be like, I will do that. But it just seamlessly worked in.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then made for an excellent throwback where Lisa was like, that guy that advertises on pro wrestling, boxing Lisa, it's much better.
Yeah, they're worlds apart. They're worlds apart.
I did have the weird moment like, why is he advertising during boxing? They're like, it's conflict resolution. Of course he is.
Ah, there we go. But yeah, and I mean, this is a very early Mo as well, with no real distinct character traits. Which is kind of refreshing because all the fucking rape gags that they make him do these days are just damn uncomfortable.
They're very creepy. I do like his tavern has like old timey tavern swing doors.
Yeah.
To the street. Yeah,
I know, it's neat.
And it's weird seeing Mo's bar from that perspective, like that slightly isometric up in the corner away from the door. Right now, you always see it low, and the camera's on the same side as the door is looking at the bar. But this was the other side of the room, up looking down. I've seen this for a while.
Like that,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many different animation choices that they're making here, like a lot more fade cuts as well. It feels like a lot older and slower and stuff, yeah.
It's just a different time.
To it. But yeah, wackiness of this episode.
They all get strapped into electric chairs, including Maggie for some reason.
Including the baby.
And then they all beat each other with foam and then not foam poles, including the baby.
I feel like that's probably actually a therapy thing of hit each other with these things that won't hurt.
I don't think you tend to learn good lessons with non-consequentially hitting things on people.
Maybe not.
Seems to make a lesson of hit me, it's fine.
Well, I'm no therapist, but yeah, having a pole that you can easily remove the foam off.
Oh, certainly trouble. But...
and again, strapping a baby into an electric chair.
Yeah.
And giving her buttons that she can electrocute her family.
Both of those choices are terrible.
Yeah, even a mild current is going to screw that baby up.
Never put 5 buttons in front of a child. They're pushing all those buttons, especially while you're still trying to explain the rules. Did not think that through at all. I did like the bit where they're shocking each other and it shows wider and wider shots of all the lights dimming in the city. And it goes to Mr. Burns and he's like, someone's really sucking up the juice today. And he's like, excellent. Maybe this energy conservation fad is slowly dying away.
It's as dead as the dodo.
Dead as the dodo. Like, nice, because that's obviously still was a thing in 1990 and that's still a thing now in 2016.
Yeah. Oh, they made the
17 film.
Fuck. I'm backdating this for people who are listening
late in the future. I'm writing late in the future down, and that's going to be a song for Super Queen and the
late in the future. That's where I get my kicks. Don't write it down. Damn it!
I told you.
Their biopic, but on a radio play.
Yeah, Super Queen and the Groove Tuners with Late in the Future.
And you have that clip of the old guy going, man, that band, everyone knows they were late in the future.
They were retro, but tomorrow retro.
Yesterday's future today.
The retro of tomorrow today.
A retrospective.
Retrospective. Sorry, I'm done now.
But yeah, wacky moments. Marge's Greek goddess dancing thing. But
that's very good.
Yeah, most of it was this is grounded Simpsons, like at its groundedest.
Well, you get a little bit of wacky where Homer's, it's not so much wacky, he's metaphorically hallucinating the good family is ascending into heaven.
Oh, yeah.
And his own family is devils and, but you know that this is him projecting that ideal. It's not actually happening. So
yeah, it's not wackiness, it's fantasy. God, the animation of that whole bit is awesome, though.
Beautiful.
Like, the orange, I know it's meant to be afternoon, but the orange sky, really helps the transition between looking at the heavenly family and the hell family.
Yep.
I just noticed that in the company picnic, there's a boy and a girl holding hands. They're supposed to be running up the path, but they've just done the thing where they've stuck a pin in the middle of the boy and the girl, and they're just tittering back and forth really quickly as general motion in the background.
Oh wow!
It's I haven't seen that for a long time.
They had no money to begin with.
No, and even in the Skybeam, we noticed in Bart the General that they do this shot from inside an oven, and to make it look like it's hot, they overlap a
water effect. Basically.
Just film of water, so it looks like steam. And I feel like they've done something similar to that sky beam.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah,
'cause,
it kind of had like a twinkly kind of wavy bit to it.
But yeah, something like, cheap that they've done in animation. That
And there's also a similar thing on the Tower of Jello, where the whole, rather than the Jellos wobbling, the entire frame had a bit of a
Wobble
wiggle to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And yeah, love the animation of all their heads behind the piles of goop.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Jiggling piles of goop.
There's a song. The heart of this episode, though. Did you guys feel the heart?
Yeah, I think so. Like, you kind of know that Homer was embarrassed of his family and really wanted to fix a solution. And in the end, he made a profit of more than any other scheme I've ever seen him make.
Yeah.
Like, they paid $250, he got $500 back. He cashed in, got $150 for his TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, and then he got the admiration and the adoration of his family. So I think he kind of scored pretty well.
They kind of end on, we're so broken we work again kind of vibe.
Like, he's getting a much better TV now with a 21-inch screen.
Yeah, I did think that.
Flesh tones and a little cart.
All important dinner cart.
I like that, his wholehearted acceptance of the TV and the idea of wheeling it in is, like, because previously he's been like, no, turn off the TV and we're going to go eat inside. So that's
okay.
That's accepting that, no, we are who we are, so we're going to watch TV while eating, and we're even going to wheel it in on special occasions.
We will never not be watching the TV.
Yeah. It's very, very proudly accepting, you know.
Yeah. No, I didn't notice that extra tying in thing. There's so many tie-ins.
Yeah, it's very well written. Like it all comes back into itself a few times over.
I just read a quote from Marge that I want this on a shirt now. It's like Hannah saying,
it'll be joining our shirt line with "Woo privilege."
If it's not true greatness we have, we're at least average.
Yeah, her whole drunk rant.
So good.
Like, it's just good to see Marge having a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do like, she's like, don't mean to alarm anyone, but I think there's some alcohol in this punch.
Even better, it's alcohol.
Alcohol.
But yeah, the heart of the episode, it came good at the end, and like, you felt them on this dysfunctional ride, and
there's some interesting turnarounds, like when, like, clearly throughout the entire show or the episode, Homer was the one who wanted to be normal. The family were all devils. Then we went to Dr. Marvin's. He said, draw the thing that makes you the most aggravated in the family. Everyone drew Homer. Homer drew planes. Like that's a tiny little bit of where we see Homer in a season and a half later, where Homer becomes the lovable buffoon that can't do anything right, rather than
where he's dragged the entire family to therapy and then stops paying attention.
He's been the catalyst and the driver for this whole episode. Gets to sit down and find the answer that he wants, and he's drawing planes down.
Yeah.
And the only other logic I spotted was they're in the car, says to Marge, remember how much Mr. Burns liked your Jello last year? And Marge says, oh, he only said to you that he liked it. He's like, that's the only time he's ever said something to me that didn't include the sentence bonehead.
Yeah.
But then when they got there, he's like, here's your Jello. And he went, some buffoon spread a rumor that I liked this infernal stuff. Like, wait a second. There was seconds between.
Yeah.
He told me personally that he liked me and didn't call me a bonehead to someone started a rumor that I liked it.
Well, maybe it was meant to be Homer.
Maybe it was Homer who started that.
He'd forgotten the interaction with Homer.
Yeah, maybe. A few other great Homer lines with
smarter.
They get home and Homer's like, no, I want to be alone with my thought.
Yeah.
Goes for a walk. And then when he comes back and says, we're going to Dr. Marvin Monroe. Of all the commercials I saw, this was the most convincing.
That was excellent, yeah. And I think a couple of days ago, I actually used the line, I've got some wieners in my pocket.
Yeah. That's just a funny line.
Yeah. Stupid dog.
Yes or no, do you think you'd watch this episode again?
Yeah. I would quite happily. Well, this is quite a good one.
Yeah, I would have thought before we watched it, I would have said I wouldn't have, because all this is a very old hat and it's kind of boring. I've seen it a bunch. But I actually really enjoyed it. And I've written the least amount of notes I have for any episode tonight. I've only got like 10, and they're all just one-liner jokes that I wanted to remember.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I would.
Yeah, there's not many groany moments. I'd definitely watch this again. And if we were to put it in a playlist...
Simpsons self-improvement.
Yeah.
Homer gets it right.
Therapy.
Releasing the Hounds. I can't believe
Releasing the Hounds.
Mr. Burns gave him a 10-minute head start. He doesn't.
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, it'll take a long time. Take them more than 10 minutes to get out of there.
Yeah.
Jello related
Sure.
Jiggling pile of goop. Bluehead Smithers.
Yeah, it's off model.
Yeah, off model Simpsons.
That's just all season 1, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, in one season, Smithers goes from black to bluehead.
Yeah.
Hey.
I feel like they didn't think that they were going to be around for 30 seasons at the time.
I can't imagine they would have. It was pretty unprecedented then.
Yeah.
So yeah, other parts of the episode you want to talk about?
A few more great lines where they're trying to pawn the TV, and Marge is like, "No, Homer, why don't we pawn my wedding ring?" And Homer's like, "No, we need at least $150."
Yes. That's a sleeper joke as well.
I like it. Goes,
really
yeah,
like that.
I appreciate the thought, but we need at least $150.
It's where you hear it, you go, "Wait a second."
Yeah, a little bit of a thinker. And yeah, just in that same scene, that pawn shop guy is like, that's a creepy looking dude.
There's also a great line. He goes, "Is it cake already? Ready as it'll ever be."
Yeah.
It's just, no.
Sir, have a deal. But notice everyone who's behind a counter, so the pawn shop guy and the receptionist at the clinic, are all just grossly disproportionate to anybody else.
Yeah?
They kind of like the girl at the clinic. She must have been 8 foot tall and entirely square. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause she's meant to be sitting down, but still on like head level with everybody.
Well, still as tall as
okay,
everybody
yeah, I
else.
get
It was a bit odd, but obviously that's just early days of animation.
And
no one-
yeah, just while we're in the family therapy center, then there was such a great double joke here where there was a family, the mum and dad were wearing I'm with stupid shirts pointing at each other.
I missed that part.
I'm like, wow, are these guys just so passive aggressive? They just wear their shirts and stand on that side of each other.
And also their kid who was sitting to one side you couldn't see it, but there was just an arrow that's the same arrow as the dad was wearing.
Oh, was it?
But you couldn't see any text, but I presumed it was supposed to be
same
the
deal.
same.
Yeah.
I do like
as well.
the carbon copy family. They're like, "Well, family, we're all good now. Let's go for frosty chocolate milkshakes."
Yeah. Their models were only just parallel universe of The Simpsons. It was a really good choice.
What episode is frosty chocolate milkshakes from? I keep forgetting.
I'm sure it started in the almond shorts. I have a feeling this is the first one, but I don't know.
You're confusing it with mocha frappuccinos.
I wish.
That was
Orange mocha frappuccinos.
And also in the family therapy center, the Bingo was his Nemo family. They were in there.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And
Well,
I
that
don't think
explains.
I've actually ever noticed that before tonight's
see it,
viewing.
yeah.
What, just did the waiting room?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was I'm with stupid family and then them and then the 8 foot tall receptionist.
We did miss the whole part where they go snooping on other families.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Wow, they seem to be having a conversation."
They actually enjoy talking to each other.
Yeah. And the happy family carving the ham and the super fake
Yeah,
smiles.
doing that. I can't remember what the painting is called, but that painting.
The family eating the turkey.
Yeah.
That sounds so dumb. Like
It's the family eating the turkey painting. You know the painting.
No, I do have it in my head, the one you're talking about. But, podcast.
Let's call it a Rockwell and be done with it.
Yeah, it's very Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell?
Sure.
Yes. Sam Rockwell.
Sam and or Norman. Beginning of the episode, we have
Storm and Rockwell.
kids. We need to show my boss we're a good family, so please give me the love and or respect I deserve.
Yeah.
And then Lisa goes, "Oh, we get a choice." And Bart's like, "I'm going with respect."
Yeah. No, it's really good. And I feel like they've used that line a few times as
Yeah.
well. It's
A good and or joke is always good, like rock and or roll.
yeah.
I think I'm out of notes.
Yeah, I think I'm
because,
out.
like I said, there are a lot more great jokes. They're just the setup is so
Yeah.
so much. It's you can't write it down in a note.
Damn it. I've got a note that just says omnivorous, but I can't remember what the setup was.
Because he was talking, he's like, they're saying grace, and he's like, "God, did you see them at the picnic?" Well, of course you did. You're everywhere. You're omnivorous.
That's right.
Yeah. Definitely that joke flew over my head in the day.
It reminds me of
little Elliot, like, "Papa, what's omnivorous?"
Yeah.
he's like, "Shut up and eat all your meat and vegetables."
I do like they also have like, let's say grace. Okay, thanks. Commence shoveling.
Yeah. And yeah, the circular motion on their arms as they got such a good
Yeah,
bit of
even
animation.
Marge just
Yeah. And yeah, I love her as well. How long are we meant to sit here while you badmouth us to the man upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, Marge got a lot of great moments in this episode.
yeah.
Yeah, shows you how much she's been reduced to
Yeah.
just being Marge now.
Yeah, well, again, season 1, they didn't know what they were doing, and she's got to be the unfortunate straight person to everybody else's wacky hijinks.
Yeah, but I think
But yeah, no, even in other shows, the straight guy usually gets some more.
yeah,
jokes.
you get to be a straight guy 4 out of 5 episodes.
Yeah. Every now and then.
Yeah.
let loose, get drunk on punch.
There was an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon, but it was actually a bit of a nothing one.
It was a little more, obviously, beginning, this was a bit more Tom and Jerry.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
It was more a single scene rather than their usual high concept.
Scratchy just sticks his head through the mouse hole, and then Itchy's there with a bomb, which, again, that's pretty much outright Tom and Jerry. The difference is it blows him up into nothing but a rib cage, and his head rolls out through the rib cage.
Yeah. No, it was a great little early look at Itchy and Scratchy back in the day. And yeah, a bit of early Smithers character work as well, where Homer makes Bart give him the kiss, and Mr. Burns is like, "Oh, can't believe the low some people go to curry my favor," and then Smithers is just like, "Oh, that's an excellent observation,
That
fabulous,
was really well done.
and yeah, really good subtle glimpse at Smithers'
Well,
character.
even in the beginning, where some guy's like, "Oh, I hate to have to be here. I'm going to miss Little League," and Mr. Burns is like, "Oh, that's fine. Make sure he's fired before the tug of war."
And setting up Mr. Burns' character really well here with
This is an absolute tyrant.
Yeah, with him going through the names and the greetings, and this must be young brat. And Homer's like, "Shh, shut up, young brat."
Yeah, this must be little brat. Bart, shut up, brat.
I feel like that's almost a future callback to later, where they're like, "Oh, and if it isn't Homer with Marge, Lisa, Bart, and expecting, the card needs to be updated, sir."
Yeah.
It did say expecting on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Continuity, love it.
There we go. And last thing I mentioned, that something that surprised us when we were watching it. At the end, it ends with the little Bingo was his name, or medley calling back to the first act break.
Yeah, to the family who are driving off to the heavens singing B-I-N-G-O.
And now they're the family drifting off to the heavens.
Because bingo is how you signify a perfect family, apparently.
So you get into heaven is as you're dying, you sing bingo by spelling it out.
Wow, those are weird last words.
B-I-N-G-O. Go.
And Bingo was his...
Go.
What was it? What was Bingo?
His name. Oh. So some poor ass rhyming.
It really is. Old
nursery
nursery rhymes
rhymes,
from when no one could speak English.
Linguish.
Languish.
I thought you said blinguish.
Languish.
Like blinguish is like English with extra razzle dazzle.
Yeah, it's like
the first time I've heard
Blinguish.
razzle dazzle in about a decade.
So it's time to rank this thing.
Whoop.
Ranking. Phil, kick it off.
I'm gonna go. I think I'll go gold on this one.
Yeah?
I had a good time watching it. It's obviously the base that the Empire is built on.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe silver, but then I forgot that cubic zirconium was a thing. So I went, it wasn't the most quintessential, but I remember a lot of it. It was a lot of fun, and it had a lot of good jokes. The characters were not entirely true to themselves now, but you can't really fault season 1 for not knowing what season 13 characters are doing. So yeah, I'd say it was a good solid episode, and obviously it was the thing that got them episode 2 to 36.
Now, I've been pretty glowing about this episode, but I am just going out and saying it's a silver.
Oh, wow.
Gold doesn't feel right to me. Like, silver's still excellent. Like,
you got to follow the hard cuts, man.
Silver's at least the second or third best you can get.
Well, I like to think of it like gold's still first, but like cubic zirconia is like super first, you know?
It's 0.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound right either.
Yeah, that sounds worse.
0 on the rate of terribleness.
But yeah, silver just feels right in the heart guts to me. It's a little bit slower paced. There's still the foundation, but by all means, it's still excellent and great ride. So, take it away, Beach.
I'm at a gold for this one. Largely because I think back, and I'm pretty sure we gave Call of the Simpsons a silver, and this is a lot more fun and a lot tighter.
Yeah.
And the number of jokes that, after all these years still land really, really well as well. I mean, for, we're the worst family in the neighborhood, well, maybe we should move to a bigger community. That alone is just a brilliant line.
I had a couple of good laugh out louds.
Yeah. It's really just very tightly written, really funny. Going to be probably one of my favorites out of season 1, outside of Bart the General, which I think we cubicked.
Yeah, so, that was unanimous cubic, that one.
Yeah, so I think this is a solid gold. If Bart the General is a cubic, this is a gold, and Call the Simpsons is a silver, I think that fits.
Yep.
And Homer's Odyssey is a bronze, so there we go.
Yep. No, that's fair enough. All right, cool. Well, should I do the... I forgot to fucking do the whole...
Do we have a corrections?
Oh, the spreadsheet thing again.
Corrections.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet corner.
Boop, boop. Do we have any corrections? I am not wrong about anything.
Remember we were discussing when we reviewed CE Doll when they had a cut to Maggie dancing along to Sex Bomb?
Yeah.
And we remembered that Dude, Where's My Ranch has a similar joke.
Yep.
They are 3 episodes apart.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That actually weirdly makes it better. Like, if you put them at one end of a season, one at either end of the season, it feels like they're not realizing they're using the same joke twice. 3 episodes apart feels like a callback.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But still weird that happened in the same season.
Yeah, actually, maybe it was just around Ally McBeal dancing baby time, so...
They were just like, let's ride this fad that will never go away.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we have a baby, and she can do whatever we want.
Yep.
Yeah. She can shoot a dude.
She did.
Or did she?
She did.
Would have made more sense.
Or did she?
Shot him.
This episode will end up being a dull gold. This episode will join such other dull golds as Homer versus Lisa and the Eighth Commandment, the illegal cable TV episode.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Selma's Choice, Duff Gardens.
Mm-hmm. That's a good episode.
Homer to the Max Power episode.
Maintain that deserves to be higher.
That's only silver.
It's a dull gold, so two golds and a silver.
Aside that, I got it from a hairdryer.
Yeah. Treehouse of Horror X and Simple Simpson.
Okay.
The Pie Man one.
Yeah.
Which got a cubic of gold and 2 silvers.
The Pie Man one?
Yeah, where Homer's Pie Man.
I think I've seen that.
Okay, cut this because I don't want to be on record as saying, but why did Sheridan give that a cubic? I've never disagreed with a ranking before, but come on.
It was a pretty funny episode.
It was pretty funny, but cubic fucking zirconia, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I like that it ended up at dull gold. I don't like that there's a cubic in there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's
Pie Man one.
Homer, well, it's kind of
he just becomes a pie man?
It's a bit of a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 1 parody where Homer dresses up in a costume and throws pies in the faces of people who doesn't have it coming. It is pretty funny.
And his mask is a cut-out pie tin.
Yeah.
I definitely haven't seen it.
No, it's like season
15,
yeah. So it's pretty funny. It's just highest accolade you could give it.
And yeah, the other 2 episodes we ranked tonight, My Fair Laddie and My Fair Lady, both both joining episodes such as There's Something About Marrying, the marriage equality episode.
Oh, that one sucks.
Any Given Sundance.
That one's not bad.
Yeah. Brick Like Me, the Lego episode.
Also not bad.
Really?
Actually, I don't remember anything about it other than it's Lego. So
yeah.
It may be my fondness for Lego speaking through. I wasn't on that podcast.
Fondness for bees. Oh, right.
And Simpsorama, the Futurama crossover episode.
Not as awful as it could have been.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know about that one either?
No. Wait, who
crosses to who?
Yes. Do they go
both? So
future?
Bender comes into Simpsons land.
Oh, what?
And then they abduct the Simpson family and take them into Futurama land because these hybrid Bart bunny rabbits are eating the future.
Pretty much.
Sounds pretty convoluted.
It's pretty convoluted, but in terms of like jokes, it's not. It could have been so much worse.
It sounds pretty bad.
It does.
But it's bad because, between the 2 shows, 5 Simpsons and like 7 Futurama characters, they're trying to do too much character service and they put way too much time into Bender and Homer. And yeah, I failed. You participated and Shag bronzed. And I think that was like the one time where I've been, you're fucking wrong, you asshole. Yeah, even I can take Sheridan's cubic, but that
one bugs you. Something you failed, is getting 2 ranks higher.
Yeah,
that's a tough pill to swallow.
Quite a big spread.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that about does it for episode 47 of the Simpsons Index. Thank you guys for joining me this evening.
Pleasure, man. Anytime.
That's been Phil Calloway.
That's me.
That's been BT Calloway.
Accurate.
Yes, relation. And I'm Elliot J. O'Neill, reminding you that that's all the mustard in the house.
That was adequate.
Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
for today's extra content.
Now what?
Yeah.
Blow.
No commercials. I don't think they called it blow back in the day. They
Just-
called some of the old cocaine.
It's true. Back when you just say, well, we'll just do cocaine. No code words, nothing, no
Yeah.
hiding.
It wasn't illegal.
Officer, want to
It's
do some
fine.
cocaine with us? You know I do.
Yeah, I would, but I'm so high right now already. I'm just
I had
watching my
too much
lights flash.
cocaine for breakfast.
Pretty much.
Oh, there's a good joke about a cocaine breakfast burrito in there somewhere. I'll get to it later.
Cocaine-arito.
10:30, cocaine break.
I've told you about Elder Scrolls, yeah? Yeah, that was hilarious. So I tried playing the same way in the new Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
right.
It just so in this version, Link ignored his Call of Duty and ended up being a chef. Because you can make money by cooking. So I bought a house in a village and I just cook. But I had to get there and I had to earn the items. I had to not die, and there were some very close calls. But yeah, I'm trying to think of the worst real names you could give someone with the last name Titters. Hugh Bitters.
Bitters. Bitters titters.
Real names.
It's real if you give it to a
I
child.
suppose.
Yeah, that's
Just
right.
ask all the poor like Jedis and all the weird ass names that are going out.
Ampersands and
Hashtag.
No one's called their child hash.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening.
I remember it was an article in MX.
Wait,
The pinnacle of Australia's
journalistic
journeys.
integrity.
Yeah.
yeah.
For international listeners, MX is the free newspaper you get when you catch the train or subway.
It's basically the same as that old guy raving in the middle of the street.
Interestingly enough, no one ever takes it off the train.
No.
Puts it on, never off.
No, at 8 p.m., the floor of your train is just MX.
Which is good because it gives the homeless guy something to pee on.
Yep.
At least they change the newspapers every day.
Just like a canary. What a riff. So wait, the symbol it's got to be spelled out, hashtag, surely.
Yeah, it was
I
spelled that
think,
way.
yeah, it was spelt.
That's even more fucked up.
That it wasn't the symbol?
Yes, at least you got the symbol. You've got like, well,
It's quick.
it's this.
Yeah.
Not you, the word. Your nickname's going to be Hash Brown in like year 3. Oh, God. That poor kid's going to go on a killing spree.
Yeah.
That will make for some terrible hashtags.
So,
But what a news article headline. Hashtag
Hashtag
kills
hash-
10.
Hashtag killing spree.
I think I know why they did it.
yeah.
Hashtag killing spree.
You've been literally true.
Yeah.
I went all the way there and I looked out the wrong window.
It happens sometimes.
Now, if you look on the left, on the right.
It's like I saw one recently. There was that news story about a guy who came here under asylum, who then saying, "Oh, and if I go back to Iraq, Iran, I'll be persecuted." But then went back like 3 times to get married or something. And the Telegraph had the, Telegraph published national syndicated paper publishing their headline, "And Iran so far away."
Oh.
And I was like, really?
I like the idea that the editors have got together and they're like, okay, this is bad. It's a terrible pun. But when are we going to have this as an opportunity ever again?
It kind of felt like it was a super fun happy slide of headlines. It's like,
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't, but when are we going to do this
You
again?
know that, like, in response to one of the politicians releasing a press statement in Comic Sans, they did their whole front page headline in Comic Sans once.
Honestly, this is actually the stuff that print journalism should be doing to, like, get attention.
Yeah.
Cheap tricks to get your eyes on them.
I have spoken about that paper about twice now. I've never talked about the Telegraph before other than to talk about how shit they are. So, well
Yeah.
done, Telegraph. You got me.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason we were talking about MX then was to say it makes good
Toilet paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they did an entire Comic Sans issue, we would talk about that.
No, just the front page.
Wingdings all the way down.
Marge, what's plain house, exclamation mark, upside down smiley face, copyright logo mean?
You don't want to know.
9/11 is our job. Look at Windings.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the idea terrorists are plotting out windings to see.
Yeah. They
When
reverse
should-
engineer.
When should we make this terrorist attack? Well, we have to do it in 9/11 or 11/9.
One or the other.
One sooner.
Yeah, but we've missed 9/11 this year. Well, we'll wait till next year, Gary. Jeez.
I don't think they were called Gary.
I know, but Gary is just a funnier name to
They
throw.
were called hashtag.
That's the leprechaun. He tells me to burn things. Homer's on the toilet under the stairs, which you've never seen before, but whatever.
No, weird.
Yeah.
The door open, singing. Goddamn musicals.
Yeah, I feel like my dad did that too.
He put a toilet under the stairs.
Or musicals.
It's D, all of the above. Nothing else?
Wrote musicals in bathrooms.
Yeah.
Sang musicals from toilets.
Your
Spontaneously.
father has such a rich and interesting life.
I'm pooping my way to fame and fortune. Say no one wants to hear that. Think of another line. Rapping. No.
Rhyming with fortune's going to be a little tricky.
Or 2.
Just like, for a second for you, it was like everything just rhymes with whore. I'm walking on sunshine, whore.
And whores light up. Yeah, it kind of works.
We haven't found a problem yet.
No, I'm still trying to think of something that rhymes with fortune. Fortunes.
Yeah, it was in a Butterfinger song. I made my fortune, now I just score tunes, don't get up before noon.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well done. Well played, Butterfingers.
I said your mama's on the head of my knob and it's better than heading to my dead-end job because the boss was a cockhead when I was a clerk. So now I clocked him and now I don't work. Anyway.
Nice.
What was there? There's one of their songs is Your Mama's on the top of my things to do list. And it's
Yeah.
like, get a job, plant a tree,
Yep.
and learn to speak a bit of Japanese, eat some cheese, something else, but then it rhymes up. All those things come to number 2 because the number 1 thing on my list to do is your mama.
Yeah.
That was a terrible rendition into it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
but
about
it was a good joke.
Yeah,
Look it up.
I love Butterfingers. Like, yeah, they are definitely the best Aussie hip hop act
Oh, yeah,
that
because
ever
most
came out.
Aussie hip hop is, I grew up on the hard streets of Adelaide, and I've wanted this all my life, mate. Come on, yeah.
Take that, Hilltop
Like,
Hoods.
no,
I can't. Hilltop Hoods are fucking good.
What's fun is I wasn't specifically referencing them. It's like every single Australian hip hop group or band or person has a song singing about how much they've always wanted this forever. It's like you don't have to prove it; you just need to do it. That's your proof, dickbags.
Yeah. But I think that's why I like Hilltop Hoods is they have a lot of songs that are genuinely good songs. Like, have you ever heard their latest album? They've got Cosby Sweater and Under the Handshake, which are excellent. But back in the days of Drink from the Sun, they've got a song called 50 and 5, which is fucking excellent. It's like the current version of We Didn't Start the Fire, but it goes for 5 minutes and it's excellent. Google Hilltop Hoods 50 and 5. Listen to it for 5 minutes. Tell me if I'm wrong. At ElliotJO'Neill.twitter.co.
It feels like that would belong on a Cracked article, but they don't do Aussie shows. Oh, we've got to get Cracked Aussie starting.
Yep.
The 6 shocking secrets of Hey Dad.
I'll just be called Cricked.
Cricked bro. That'd be the New
That's
Zealand.
the South African or the New Zealand one.
Yeah.
Cricked, bro.
Oi, cricked bro.
the 7 shocking things we learnt on Police 10-7.
These chops are crack. I love Police 10-7. Oh, I miss it. That's the only thing I miss about cable is Police 10-7. Officers have arrived on a potential tinny house. They've found drugs on the pen. They released the driver with his license and ruffled his hair.
They let him off with a slap on the wrist and a balloon.
A balloon on the wrist also, I assume.
Yeah.
Because, we just keep riffing on this because it's like Police 10-7 was always so low stakes.
Yeah.
I remember the one that, it's still my favorite, where they start following this guy and you stop, and he starts running, they catch up and then they chase him, they catch him, and they go, and he goes, I haven't done anything. It's like, well, why are you running? He goes, because I'm on the run. It's like, did you write that? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why did you avoid it? Because I'm on the run.
And the other guy who was drunk that curbed his car and he was in the driver's seat and they go, you curbed your car, mate. No. But your car's on the curb. No, I didn't.
You're in the driver's seat, bro.
You can't prove I did it. Also, your car is curbed now. No.
Yeah, even Sheldon gets drugged a couple of times.
Wait, what?
Big Bang Theory?
I think. Yeah, I think so. I've definitely seen him high coming back from the dentist or something.
I saw an episode where he was drunk and giving a speech and it ended up on YouTube. And
Yeah, whatever. Give that kid LSD.
Pulls his pants
Yeah.
down, I think. Yeah.
You know they're making a spin-off prequel series for Sheldon.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, young Sheldon or some. Stop it. We don't need this stuff. New ideas.
Yep. And
I think this truck full of money disagrees with you.
yeah.
You can disagree with me quietly in the backyard as I deny that I even know what you're talking about.
Oh, it doesn't mean it's not for you. It's for
Young Sheldon.
What's that guy? The Chuck Law.
Chuck Lorre.
Yeah.
He's got enough trucks full of money. Thank you very much.
You just park it by the other trucks in the truck complex.
He's not even unloaded the last couple of trucks.
I need a new parking lot for all my money trucks.
Need no money unloader. You there? I'll pay you minimum wage.
Yeah, have a truck.
You can keep all the money you can unload. Oh, tired, hey?
I would not unload a truck quicker in my life.